Welcome back, dear friend. Tonight, we are taking a journey into one of the most extraordinary realms of human heritage, the history and mythology of Africa, a landmass so vast, so ancient, and so diverse that every corner whispers its own story, from the deserts where golden sands stretch beyond the horizon to the lush rainforests that breathe life into the earth. Africa holds within it tales that span millennia. These are stories of kings and queens, of spirits and ancestors, of battles fought and civilizations built, of myths carried by song and firelight. So before you get too comfortable, take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you enjoy the kind of content that merges myth and mystery. And hey, let us know, from where are you watching? And what time is it for you right now? Sometimes our stories are better than sleep, and other times they make you dream louder. It's time now to dim the lights, turn on a fan for some gentle noise, and let's cover what we have for tonight. Together, welcome, dear friend, as we begin our journey at the very beginning, at the dawn of humanity itself. Imagine, if you will, a land that stretches across rolling plains, ancient mountains, and deep, winding valleys, a land untouched by the hurried hands of modern civilization. This land is Africa, vast and timeless, holding within its soil the very story of our existence. Here, millions of years ago, life as we know it began to stir. Tiny footprints in soft mud, the gentle rustling of leaves, the distant calls of creatures unknown to our eyes today. This is where the first humans emerged, slowly, cautiously, yet with a spark of something enduring. Scientists have walked these lands, meticulously uncovering the evidence of our earliest ancestors. In the Rift Valley of East Africa, in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania, fossils whisper the secrets of lives lived so long ago that time itself seems to bend around them. There is Lucy, discovered in 1974 in the Afar region of Ethiopia, a small skeleton of a hominid who lived more than 3 million years ago. She was not a person in the way we think of people now, but she carried within her the essence of what it meant to walk upright, to explore, to survive. As you imagine Lucy, picture her moving gently across grassy plains, her eyes attentive to the sway of distant trees, the subtle movements of creatures, the patterns of the land that would teach her and her kind how to endure. But Lucy was not alone. Alongside her species, Australopithecus afarensis, other hominids wandered, each learning the rhythms of nature, the secrets of water, fire, and stone. They adapted to their environment in ways both subtle and profound, leaving traces that thousands of generations later would allow us to peer back into their world. Imagine, for a moment, a family huddled under a protective rock overhang, the night sky above scattered with countless stars, their small hands reaching for the warmth of a fire that would one day become their greatest tool. Their world was harsh, yes, but it was also beautiful, full of opportunity, full of lessons that would ripple through time. From the Rift Valley, the story spreads. Our ancestors moved slowly, exploring the lands around them. They watched the rivers flow, the rains fall, the cycles of life and death unfold. Africa, in this time, was a mosaic of habitats, dense forests, sprawling savannas, deserts that shimmered like gold in the sun, and coastlines where the waves sang endless lullabies. Life was fragile, And yet, within that fragility, there was resilience. Every stone sharpened into a tool, every flame carefully tended, every movement calculated. These were the small triumphs that allowed humanity to take its first steps toward the vast story we are part of today. As you picture this world, let your mind drift gently across its landscapes. See the towering baobabs rising like ancient sentinels, their branches stretching to the heavens. Hear the quiet murmurs of early humans sharing the first words, the first sounds that would one day become languages. Imagine their laughter, the subtle expressions of curiosity and wonder, the beginnings of thought that would evolve into philosophy, culture, and myth. Each moment was a building block in the foundation of who we are, a reminder that Africa is not only the cradle of humankind, but also the keeper of our earliest dreams. The bones of these early humans tell us one story, but their surroundings tell another. Volcanic eruptions, shifting rivers, and the slow dance of the Earth's crust shaped their world. These forces were not just background scenery, they were teachers. They showed our ancestors where to settle, where to hunt, where to seek shelter, and as they observed the stars, patterns in the night sky began to form in their minds. Constellations, cycles, and rhythms became tools for survival, guidance, and eventually storytelling. Imagine lying beneath that sky, feeling the cool night air, the earth firm beneath your feet, and understanding, without words, the profound connection between the heavens and the land. Africa's early humans were also inventors. They crafted tools from stone, bone, and wood, discovering how one simple modification could change life entirely. Imagine the quiet satisfaction as a sharp stone cleaved through the air, splitting wood to create shelter or to craft utensils. Each innovation, each small victory over the challenges of life was a testament to human ingenuity. Over generations, these skills became more refined, more specialized. Fire became not only a tool for warmth, but a companion, a protector, a source of light and comfort in the long nights under vast, starlit skies. And then there was movement. Africa was not a static stage. It was a living, breathing organism, and our ancestors moved with it. Some wandered east, some south, some north, following the herds, the rains, the seasons. This movement was more than migration. It was a story of exploration, of curiosity, of connection. They learned to read the land, to sense danger, to anticipate change. The rivers were highways, the mountains were landmarks, the forests, both refuge and challenge. And with each step, they carried forward knowledge that would echo across generations, forming the roots of cultures yet to come. But alongside survival, there was wonder. Africa's first humans gazed at the sun rising over the savannah, listened to the rhythm of rainfall, watched the dance of animals in ways that stirred awe and imagination. Perhaps these were the seeds of the myths that would later bloom across the continent. Stories of powerful spirits in rivers, clever tricksters in the forest, and ancestors watching from the stars. Every footprint in the mud, every mark on a cave wall, every whispered observation of the natural world was part of a slow, unfolding narrative of connection between humans and the earth. And so, dear friend, as you drift gently into this story, imagine yourself lying beside a gentle stream, In ancient Africa, the wind brushes across the tall grasses. You hear the distant calls of animals, the crackle of fire, the quiet murmurs of our ancestors speaking, teaching, imagining. You are part of that world, carried softly by time, by memory, by the unbroken thread that connects us to those first steps taken millions of years ago. Feel the calm, the continuity, the gentle pulse of life that begins here in the cradle of humankind. From these humble beginnings, civilizations would rise, cultures would flourish, and stories would be told, carried across deserts, mountains, and oceans. But every grand tale begins with a single step, a quiet moment of curiosity, a first glance at the sky and the earth together. And so, we begin here, at the very beginning, in Africa, the place where humanity first opened its eyes to the world. Now, as your eyelids grow heavy, let this image linger, the soft light of dawn over ancient plains, the whisper of wind through trees, the quiet presence of those who walked before us. Let it carry you gently into sleep, cradled by the knowledge that you are part of a story that began millions of years ago and continues even now, softly, endlessly, beautifully. Now, dear friend, let us gently drift from the earliest footsteps of humanity to a land where the sun casts golden rays upon endless rivers and where history seems to float upon the water itself. This land is ancient Egypt, a civilization that grew and thrived along the life-giving banks of the Nile River, which for millennia has been the heartbeat of this remarkable place. Imagine, if you will, a ribbon of water winding across the desert like a silver thread shimmering in the light of the rising sun. On either side, fertile soil stretches wide, nurturing crops, supporting life, and inviting human ingenuity to flourish. It was along this river that people learned not only to survive, but to thrive, building settlements that would grow into cities and, eventually, into one of the most enduring civilizations in human history. The Nile was more than a river. It was a living entity, revered and worshipped as a god. Its waters provided food, transportation, and a rhythm to life itself. Every year, the river would rise, flooding the lands with nutrient-rich silt, painting the earth in shades of green and gold, and giving rise to bountiful harvests. This cycle of inundation, growth, and renewal became central to Egyptian culture, shaping not only their agriculture, but also their worldview, their understanding of time, and their deep spiritual connection to the natural world. Along this sacred river, the first pharaohs began to rise to power. These rulers were not merely kings, they were considered living gods, bridges between the human and the divine. Imagine the first temples rising from the earth, their stones carefully quarried and lifted with ingenuity and devotion. The pharaoh's commands shaped cities, directed armies, and commissioned monumental works that would echo through time. The pyramids of Giza, their smooth, triangular faces catching the sunlight, were not just tombs. They were symbols of eternity, a testament to the Egyptian belief in life beyond death. The stories of gods and goddesses filled every aspect of life in ancient Egypt. Ra, the sun god, sailed across the sky each day, bringing light and warmth, and descended into the underworld at night, battling the forces of chaos to rise again in the dawn. Isis, the loving mother and protector, wove magic and healing into the world. while Osiris, god of the afterlife, offered hope and resurrection to all who followed the sacred laws. The Egyptians believed deeply in Ma'at, the principle of balance and harmony, and every action, every thought, every breath was aligned with this cosmic order. Picture, if you will, the bustling streets of Thebes, the markets filled with the scent of spices, fresh bread, and blooming flowers. Merchants call out their wares, while artisans carve delicate figures of gods and animals into stone and wood. Children laugh and chase each other along the river banks, their feet kicking up soft dust, while priests and priestesses conduct sacred ceremonies in temples adorned with golden statues and vibrant hieroglyphs. Every stone, every brushstroke, every gesture is a story, a prayer, a link to the eternal. The Egyptians were not only spiritual, but also keen observers of the natural world. They mapped the stars, tracked the movements of planets, and developed a calendar that would guide their agricultural and religious life. Their medicine was advanced for its time, using herbs, oils, and surgical techniques to heal wounds and care for the sick. Mathematics and engineering flourished, allowing them to construct massive structures, to measure land, and to solve problems that required both logic and intuition. Life along the Nile was a delicate balance between nature and human endeavor. Farmers planted flax, wheat, and barley, while fishermen cast nets into the river teeming with fish. Cattle grazed along the banks, and ibises and crocodiles shared the waters. Revered in myth and respected in practice, the annual flooding, though vital, was unpredictable, and so the Egyptians learned patience, observation, and reverence. They understood that to live in harmony with the river was to live in harmony with life itself. And then there was the art, the music, and the literature. Egyptian artisans painted scenes of gods, pharaohs, and everyday life on temple walls, capturing movement, emotion, and ritual with astonishing precision. Musicians played harps, flutes, and percussion, while dancers performed in celebration of the gods, the pharaohs, and the cycles of nature. Scribes recorded stories, laws, and poetry in the elegant script of hieroglyphs, each symbol a combination of beauty and meaning, a way to preserve knowledge for generations yet unborn. The mythology of Egypt is a river of its own, flowing through every aspect of life. Stories of creation tell of Adam rising from the primordial waters, bringing forth the world from chaos. Tales of Seth and Horus recount battles of good and evil, order and disorder, that mirror the cycles of the natural world. The Book of the Dead guided souls through the afterlife, a map of both moral and spiritual landscapes, ensuring that each individual's journey continued beyond the mortal realm. Imagine now walking through a quiet temple at dusk. The air is cool, scented with incense and lotus flowers. Sunlight filters through stone columns, casting long, gentle shadows. A priest gently chants a prayer, the sound echoing softly, almost like the river itself speaking. In the distance, the Nile flows steadily, its waters reflecting the first stars of evening. You feel a calm, a connection to something vast and enduring, something that has existed for thousands of years and will continue long after our own footsteps fade. As you drift with these images, think of the pharaohs as both rulers and storytellers, their lives interwoven with myth, history, and the sacred rhythms of the Nile. Each pyramid, temple, and statue is a message through time, a whisper of a civilization that understood life, death, and the cosmos in ways that still inspire wonder today. And so, dear friend, as you let your mind float along the Nile, imagine yourself in a small boat, gently rocking with the current. The sun sets in shades of amber and rose, the river glowing softly in the twilight. Around you, the land hums with life. Farmers returning home, birds settling into trees, distant drums marking the pulse of evening rituals. You are part of this world now, carried on a river of history and myth, lulled by the calm, eternal flow of the Nile. Here, in this moment, ancient Egypt is not just a civilization, it is a living dream, a story whispered across millennia, waiting to carry you into rest. Let the river's gentle movement, the warmth of the setting sun, and the quiet presence of gods and pharaohs soothe your mind. Drift slowly as the Nile drifts, unhurried, timeless, and eternal. Now, dear friend, let us gently drift southward from the fertile banks of the Nile in Egypt to a land of sun-baked deserts, lush river valleys, and the rolling hills where another remarkable civilization emerged, Nubia, home to the Kingdom of Kush. Imagine a landscape where the Nile winds through golden sands and rocky outcrops, where the sun paints the world in amber light, and where life pulses quietly yet persistently along the river banks. Here, in this ancient and mysterious land, humans built kingdoms, traded across continents, and wove myths that would echo across generations. Nubia stretches along what we now call southern Egypt and northern Sudan, a land rich in natural resources and strategic pathways connecting Africa's interior to the Mediterranean. Its people were strong, resilient, and fiercely independent, creating cultures that thrived for thousands of years, while sometimes overshadowed in the popular imagination by Egypt to the north. Nubia was never merely a neighbor, it was a kingdom of innovation, art, military skill, and spirituality. Picture the people of Kush walking along the Nile's edge, their eyes reflecting the bright water, their hands skilled in crafting, trading, and shaping the land itself. The Kingdom of Kush emerged as a powerful force around 2000 BCE, building cities that were centers of culture, learning, and trade. Kushite rulers, much like the pharaohs, were seen as both leaders and spiritual guides. They constructed impressive temples, pyramids, and fortresses, leaving behind structures that still stand today as whispers of a proud and ancient civilization. Unlike the smooth, massive pyramids of Egypt, the Kushite pyramids were smaller and steeply angled, yet no less elegant, each marking the resting place of a king or queen, a testament to their enduring beliefs in life beyond death. Kush was rich in gold, ivory, and ebony, making it a magnet for trade and influence. Traders from Egypt, the Mediterranean, and the heart of Africa journeyed along the Nile, exchanging goods, ideas, and culture. This network of commerce allowed Kush to flourish while also fostering a rich tapestry of cultural exchange. Imagine caravan routes stretching across sun-drenched lands, camels plodding steadily, carrying precious metals and rare goods, while merchants sing softly to pass the time and watch the horizon for the next oasis. The Kushite people were also remarkable warriors. They defended their lands with determination and skill, often influencing the course of Egyptian history itself. At times, the pharaohs of Egypt looked southward to Nubia with envy and caution, while at other times, Kushite kings conquered Egypt, ruling as pharaohs themselves during the period known as the 25th dynasty. This era is sometimes called the Kushite dynasty of Egypt, a time when the cultures of both lands intertwined and the Nile became a bridge between two civilizations. Nubia's mythology and spiritual life were as vibrant as its political history. The Kushites shared many religious beliefs with Egypt, venerating gods such as Amun and Isis, yet they also developed their own deities, rituals, and sacred spaces. The interplay of nature and divinity was central. The sun, the river, the mountains, and even the wind were imbued with spiritual significance. Imagine a Kushite priest walking along the river at dawn, offering prayers to Amun while watching the sun rise, feeling the warmth on his face, and hearing the gentle ripple of the Nile as a sacred hymn of life itself. Queens of Kush, too, hold a special place in history and myth. Known as Kandakes, these women were not merely consorts or ceremonial figures. They were leaders, generals, and protectors of their people. Some commanded armies in battle, some led diplomatic missions, and all carried the authority to shape the destiny of their kingdom. Picture one such queen, adorned in vibrant garments, her crown gleaming in the morning light, riding along the river banks with a calm yet commanding presence, a figure of both power and grace. Art and craftsmanship flourished in Nubia. Kushite artisans created intricate jewelry from gold, beads, and precious stones, carved statues from stone and wood, and painted vibrant murals that told stories of gods, kings, and the rhythms of daily life. These works were not mere decoration, they were expressions of identity, belief, and connection to both the living and the ancestors. Imagine walking through a Kushite palace, the walls alive with color, the air carrying the faint scent of incense, and seeing the careful brush strokes that capture the elegance of a queen, the courage of a warrior, and the serenity of the Nile flowing eternally beyond the city gates. Kushite society was deeply connected to the natural world. The river provided fish, water for crops, and a route for travel. The surrounding lands offered gold, stone, and fertile soil. Animals were both companions and symbols. Crocodiles, revered for their strength and cunning, patrolled the waters. Gazelles and antelopes grazed the plains, inspiring stories and rituals. Birds flew overhead, carrying messages of the divine. Life in Kush was a delicate balance of survival, observation, and reverence, a reminder that humans and nature are intertwined in ways both practical and mystical. Trade was not only a matter of wealth, but also a conduit for ideas and stories. Nubia connected sub-Saharan Africa to the Mediterranean world, spreading knowledge, religious practices, and artistic styles. Merchants and travelers carried tales of distant lands, while Kushite scribes recorded their own legends, preserving the identity of their people for generations yet to come. Imagine a quiet night in a Kushite city, the stars reflected in the calm river as storytellers share tales of gods, heroes, and ancestors, the soft voices carrying across the water like a lullaby of history. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into this story, picture the Kingdom of Kush, not only as a land of power and wealth, but as a living, breathing culture. Its people walked the same earth we walk today, felt the same sun upon their faces, and gazed at the same night sky. Their lives, their beliefs, their triumphs and challenges all become part of the rich tapestry of African history, a story carried gently across time. Imagine now standing on a hill overlooking a Kushite city. The Nile glimmers in the fading sunlight, pyramids rise like quiet guardians, and the soft laughter of children echoes from the streets. Camels and traders move slowly through the sand, and priests chant softly to honor the gods. You feel the calm presence of those who came before, their stories merging with the wind, the river, and the earth beneath your feet. This is a land of resilience, of ingenuity, and of quiet, enduring beauty. In this moment, as your eyes grow heavy, let the stories of Nubia and the Kingdom of Kush flow over you like the Nile itself. Feel the sun-warmed stones beneath your imagined hands, the cool river breeze on your skin, and the gentle pulse of a civilization that thrived for thousands of years. Let the strength of Kushite queens, the wisdom of its priests, and the rhythm of the Nile guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the legacy of this remarkable kingdom into the quiet of your mind. And so, dear friend, we pause here, cradled by the gentle presence of Nubia, carrying its whispers of power, myth, and life, as we prepare to journey onward to the next chapter of Africa's rich tapestry of history. Now, dear friend, let us journey eastward along the gentle slopes of highlands and valleys to a land of towering mountains, fertile plains, and the quiet murmur of history carried by the wind. This is the land of Axum, the great kingdom that rose in what we now call northern Ethiopia and Eritrea. Imagine a world where trade routes connect distant lands, where the sky stretches wide above rugged hills, and where the people live in harmony with both the earth and the heavens, crafting a civilization that will echo across centuries. The kingdom of Axum began to flourish around the 1st century CE, yet its roots reach back even further, blending local traditions with influences from Arabia, the Mediterranean, and beyond. Its location made it a hub of commerce and culture. Caravans moved steadily through the mountains and deserts, carrying ivory, gold, exotic animals, and incense to far-off lands, while ships sailed from the Red Sea to distant ports, linking Africa to India, Arabia, and even the Roman Empire. Picture traders moving along sun-warmed roads, their camels laden with goods, their eyes alert to the distant horizon as the kingdom hums with quiet prosperity. Axum was not only a center of trade, but also a kingdom of remarkable architectural and artistic achievement. Its people constructed towering obelisks, some reaching over 70 feet into the sky, carved from single blocks of stone, their surfaces etched with intricate symbols and inscriptions. These obelisks marked sacred spaces, royal tombs, and celebrations of life and victory. Imagine standing beneath one of these monumental stones, feeling both the weight of history and the awe-inspiring beauty of human creativity as sunlight glints softly against the carved surfaces. Kings of Axum were revered as both political leaders and spiritual guides. They governed with wisdom, overseeing trade, law, and agriculture, while also maintaining deep connections to the divine. The kingdom adopted Christianity in the 4th century CE under King Azana, making Axum one of the earliest Christian states in the world. Imagine the soft glow of candlelight in early churches, the chants of priests echoing across stone walls, and the quiet devotion of the people as they weave faith into every aspect of life. The Nile is not the only river of significance here. The highlands of Axum are dotted with springs and streams, feeding fertile valleys where crops grow and herds graze. Farmers learned the rhythms of the seasons, planting teff, barley, and wheat, while artisans created pottery, jewelry, and textiles of exquisite detail. Life in Axum was a delicate dance of survival, creativity, and reverence for the natural world. Imagine the smell of fresh bread rising in the morning, the soft rustle of grain in the wind, and the distant call of cattle moving along hillside paths, all harmonizing with the hum of daily life. Axumite culture was deeply intertwined with myth, legend, and spiritual practice. The people revered their ancestors and the spirits of the land, while also incorporating Christian beliefs into their understanding of the world. Stories of kings, heroes, and divine interventions circulated through the courts, temples, and marketplaces. Imagine a storyteller beneath a spreading acacia tree, the sun dipping low in the sky, sharing tales of heroic deeds, divine encounters, and the eternal balance between humankind and the unseen forces that shape their lives. Trade was the lifeblood of Axum, yet it was also a channel for knowledge, ideas, and inspiration. Merchants brought exotic goods from faraway lands, while scholars and travelers carried stories, wisdom, and technologies. The kingdom minted its own coins, each engraved with inscriptions of power, faith, and prosperity, spreading its influence across the Red Sea and beyond. Picture a bustling market, the air fragrant with spices and incense, the hum of conversation, and the quiet satisfaction of merchants as they exchange goods and stories alike. The obelisks of Axum, however, are more than markers of wealth or power. They are symbols of eternity, much like the pyramids of Nubia and Egypt. Each stone tells a story, carved with care and devotion, standing as silent witnesses to generations of human endeavor. Imagine walking along a row of these towering stones at dawn, the light casting long shadows, the air cool and still, as if time itself pauses to honor the legacy carved into each surface. Religion in Axum was both personal and communal, guiding daily life, social structure, and moral principles. With the adoption of Christianity, new rituals, churches, and texts entered the kingdom, blending seamlessly with older spiritual practices. The faith was not imposed. It grew organically, nourished by trade, diplomacy, and the shared desire to understand the mysteries of life and death. Imagine a quiet Sunday morning, the people gathering in a stone church, sunlight streaming through carved windows, voices rising in harmony, echoing off walls that have witnessed centuries of devotion. Axum's influence extended far beyond its borders. Its trade networks linked Africa to Arabia, India, and the Mediterranean, bringing prosperity and cultural exchange. Its architects and engineers inspired neighboring regions, while its scribes and scholars preserved knowledge in inscriptions, manuscripts, and oral tradition. Imagine a scholar in a quiet chamber, carefully tracing symbols onto parchment, knowing that their words will endure long after their own life, carried on the whispers of wind and the flow of the Nile's distant waters. And yet, life in Axum was not only about grandeur and achievement, it was also about the quiet moments that form the soul of a civilization. Children played along riverbanks, women carried baskets of grain, and elders shared wisdom beneath the shade of fig trees. Every gesture, every smile, every story added to the tapestry of life, weaving together human experience with the eternal rhythms of nature. Imagine listening to the soft laughter of children echo across a valley, the distant murmur of the river, and the whisper of wind through trees, each sound a thread in the living story of Axum. Now, dear friend, as you drift deeper into this tale, imagine yourself standing on a high plateau overlooking an Axumite city. The sun dips low, painting the sky in shades of rose and gold. The obelisks rise silently against the horizon. The Nile gleams softly in the distance, and the air carries the faint scent of incense, earth, and flowering plants. You feel the calm, steady heartbeat of a civilization that has endured for centuries, a place where trade, faith, art, and life move together in quiet harmony. In this moment, let the stories of Axum wash over you like the gentle flow of the Nile. Feel the strength of its kings, the wisdom of its priests, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring presence of its people. Let the soft rhythm of daily life, the whisper of trade winds, and the eternal glow of faith guide you into a peaceful rest, carrying the legacy of this great kingdom into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here, resting for a moment in the quiet majesty of the Kingdom of Axum, ready to continue our journey through Africa's vast and wondrous history. Now, dear friend, let us turn our gaze northward to the vast stretches of land where the desert meets the Mediterranean, where mountains rise like silent sentinels, and where a resilient and proud people have thrived for thousands of years. These are the Berbers, also known as the Amazigh, the indigenous peoples of North Africa. Imagine a landscape of golden dunes, rocky hills, olive groves, and coastal plains stretching across modern-day Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and beyond. In this land, the Berbers have walked for millennia, leaving traces of their presence in stone, song, and story. The Berbers are among the oldest peoples of the African continent, their history intertwined with the shifting sands of the Sahara, the fertile valleys of the Atlas Mountains, and the sparkling waters of the Mediterranean. They were traders, warriors, shepherds, and farmers, adapting to the diverse climates and terrains of their homeland. Picture a Berber family tending goats on a hillside, the sun warming their backs, the wind carrying the faint scent of wild herbs, and the distant call of birds across the vast expanse. Each day was a rhythm, measured by the sun, the seasons, and the cycles of life itself. Trade was central to Berber life, long before modern highways and cities. They traversed the harsh, unforgiving Sahara Desert with caravans of camels carrying gold, salt, textiles, and other precious goods. These journeys were not only acts of commerce, but also of connection, linking sub-Saharan Africa with the Mediterranean and beyond. Imagine a long line of camels moving steadily across sun-baked sands, the traders' voices rising in quiet songs to keep spirits strong, the horizon stretching endlessly, a promise of discovery and exchange waiting beyond each dune. The Berbers' relationship with the land shaped their culture and identity. In the Atlas Mountains, they built villages of stone, terraced fields that glimmered with crops, and intricate irrigation systems that captured the precious rainfall. In the desert, they became masters of navigation, reading the stars, the winds, and the shifting sands. They developed a deep understanding of nature, learning to survive and thrive in environments that could seem both harsh and beautiful. Picture a desert night, the sky filled with stars, the sand cool beneath your feet, and a Berber guide tracing constellations, passing knowledge down through generations with quiet reverence. Language and storytelling are central to Berber culture. The Amazigh language, with its ancient roots, carries history, myth, and wisdom across time. Oral traditions preserve legends of heroes, spirits, and ancestral deeds, stories that teach lessons, celebrate bravery, and honor the land. Imagine sitting by a crackling fire in a Berber village, listening to a storyteller weave a tale of desert spirits and mountain guardians, the warmth of the flames and the softness of the night wrapping around you, lulling your mind into calm reflection. Berber mythology is rich with spirits, deities, and ancestral figures. The land itself is alive in their stories. Mountains have personalities, rivers carry messages, and desert winds whisper the secrets of the past. Some legends speak of ancestors who shaped the mountains, of animals that acted as guides or omens, and of heroes who journeyed across deserts to bring justice or wisdom. Picture these tales unfolding under the night sky, stars twinkling like the eyes of ancient watchers, the soft rustle of sand blending with the gentle cadence of words carried through time. The Berbers also played a pivotal role in history as intermediaries between cultures. They guided caravans, served as traders, and acted as messengers between empires. From the Roman era through the rise of Islamic civilizations, they were both participants and influencers. Their knowledge of the land and its secrets allowing them to navigate politics, commerce, and diplomacy. Imagine the quiet efficiency of a Berber guide leading travelers through a mountain pass, each step measured, each glance attentive, the rhythm of the journey almost hypnotic in its steady flow. Art and craftsmanship flourished among the Berbers. They created intricate jewelry of silver and beads, woven textiles of brilliant colors and patterns, and pottery decorated with symbols that carried meaning and identity. Every piece was more than decoration. It was a story, a connection to ancestors, a manifestation of the environment and spirit. Imagine a Berber artisan weaving a carpet, fingers moving deftly, patterns emerging like rivers and mountains, each thread carrying the legacy of generations, a quiet meditation in every motion. Religion and spirituality shaped daily life. Before the spread of Islam, Berbers practiced a variety of beliefs, venerating nature, spirits, and ancestors. With the advent of Islam, many embrace the faith, blending it with local traditions in ways that created unique cultural expressions. Mosques became centers not only of worship, but of learning and community, echoing with prayers that rise softly into the sky, mingling with the whisper of the wind across the desert. Imagine the quiet sound of prayer at dawn, the sun just peeking over a mountain ridge, the air cool and fragrant with morning dew, as generations of Berbers carry their devotion forward, despite centuries of foreign conquest and influence, from Phoenicians and Romans to Arabs and Europeans. The Berbers have preserved their identity, language, and traditions. Their resilience is a testament to the deep roots of culture and the quiet strength of a people who have walked these lands for millennia. Picture a Berber festival in a sunlit valley, music, dance, and laughter filling the air, weaving the old with the new, creating a living bridge between past and present. And so, dear friend, as you drift gently into the story of the Berbers, imagine yourself walking along a mountain path at twilight. The wind carries the scent of wild herbs, the sun sets behind distant dunes, and the soft hum of conversation drifts from a village below. You feel the quiet strength of a people who know the land intimately, whose stories, songs, and traditions have endured the passage of centuries. Their myths, their journeys, and their daily lives flow around you like a gentle current, inviting calm and reflection. In this moment, let the spirit of the Berbers guide you softly. Picture the slow movement of caravans across the desert, the serene beauty of terraced fields, and the glow of a fire where stories are shared. Feel the timeless rhythm of North Africa, the quiet pulse of mountains and sands, and the wisdom of a people whose connection to the land carries into your dreams. Drift gently as the wind moves across the Atlas Mountains, cradled by history, culture, and the enduring presence of the Berbers. And so, dear friend, we pause here, resting in the quiet majesty of North Africa, where the Berbers continue to leave their mark, whispering stories of resilience, trade, and myth as we prepare to journey further along the vast and wondrous continent of Africa. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently westward to the sun-warmed lands of West Africa, where rolling savannas meet dense forests, and where the whispers of rivers carry stories of ancient kingdoms. Here, between the Niger and Senegal rivers, the Ghana Empire once rose, a civilization of remarkable wealth, trade, and influence. Imagine the golden light of dawn spilling across the land, villages waking slowly, the hum of life blending seamlessly with the natural rhythms of the earth. The Ghana Empire, which flourished from around the 6th to the 13th century CE, was often called the Land of Gold, and for good reason. Its soil and rivers were rich with precious resources, and gold flowed from the heart of the empire to distant lands, reaching North Africa, Europe, and beyond. Imagine caravans laden with gold, salt, and ivory moving steadily across sun-drenched plains, their riders singing softly to keep spirits strong as the horizon stretches endlessly before them. These were not mere trade routes, they were lifelines, weaving together communities, ideas, and cultures across vast distances. The rulers of Ghana were wise and powerful, governing with both strength and vision. The king, or Ghana, was not only a political leader, but also a spiritual figure, responsible for maintaining order, justice, and the prosperity of his people. Picture the royal court, a place of ceremony and council, where advisors, merchants, and scholars gather to discuss the affairs of the kingdom. The palace is adorned with rich tapestries, intricate carvings, and the soft glow of morning light filtering through carved windows. Every object, every gesture, every word is part of a carefully maintained balance between power, faith, and tradition. Ghana was not only wealthy, it was also a hub of culture and learning. The empire's cities and marketplaces thrived with activity. Traders from distant lands brought exotic goods, including textiles, spices, and horses, exchanging them for gold, kola nuts, and salt. Listen to the soft murmur of a bustling market at dawn, merchants calling out their wares, children darting between stalls, and the distant echo of musicians playing drums and stringed instruments. Life in the Ghana Empire is both vibrant and orderly, flowing like a river through time. Trade across the Sahara Desert was central to Ghana's prosperity. Caravans traveled hundreds of miles through scorching sands, guided by Berber traders, connecting the empire to North Africa and the Mediterranean world. These journeys were arduous, requiring skill, endurance, and deep knowledge of the land. Picture the sun rising over dunes, the golden sands stretching endlessly, and the rhythmic footsteps of camels echoing across the desert. Each journey carried not only goods, but stories, news, and ideas, linking distant lands in a web of connection. The people of Ghana were also skilled farmers and herders. They cultivated millet, sorghum, and rice, and raised cattle, sheep, and goats. Villages were built with care, often fortified to protect against raiders, and community life was rich with rituals, music, and storytelling. Imagine a quiet evening in a village, smoke rising gently from hearth fires, the laughter of children blending with the soft songs of elders, and the warm glow of lanterns illuminating paths between homes. These daily rhythms create a sense of harmony rooted in the land and in the bonds of community. Religion and spirituality played an important role in the Ghana Empire. The people believed in a supreme deity, as well as in spirits connected to nature, ancestors, and daily life. Rituals and ceremonies marked the cycles of planting and harvest, life and death, weaving a tapestry of belief that guided moral and social order. Picture a priest or priestess standing beneath a baobab tree, chanting softly to honor the spirits of the land, while villagers gather to witness, participate, and feel the comforting presence of the divine. The Ghana Empire also had a sophisticated system of governance. Local chiefs managed towns and villages, collecting tribute, resolving disputes, and ensuring that trade and agriculture flourished. This network of leadership, overseen by the king, allowed the empire to thrive for centuries. Imagine a council meeting at dawn, the soft light streaming through the palace doors. As decisions are made with care, wisdom, and attention to the needs of the people, each choice, each law, each ritual contributes to the stability and prosperity of the kingdom. Art and culture were deeply intertwined with life. In Ghana, musicians played drums, flutes, and stringed instruments, filling the air with melodies that echoed across valleys. Artisans created intricate jewelry, pottery, and textiles, each item carrying symbols of status, belief, and history. Picture an elder teaching children the art of weaving, their fingers moving deftly over colorful threads, each motion a lesson in patience, skill, and tradition. Stories and songs were passed orally, preserving the collective memory of generations and ensuring that the wisdom of the past guided the present. The empire's military strength was also notable. Warriors protected the borders, escorted trade caravans, and maintained order within the kingdom. Their training was rigorous, their discipline unwavering, and their presence a source of stability for the people. Imagine a line of soldiers at sunrise, their spears gleaming softly in the morning light, moving in synchronized steps, their calm confidence radiating across the surrounding fields. These warriors, like the kings and traders, played a vital role in sustaining Ghana's prosperity and security. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Ghana Empire, picture yourself walking along a quiet riverbank at dusk. The water reflects the soft hues of sunset. Villagers are returning from fields. Children laugh and chase each other along the shore, and distant drums mark the rhythm of evening. You feel the steady pulse of life, the enduring presence of a civilization that has shaped West Africa for centuries, its legacy flowing gently through time like the waters of a serene river. Let the stories of Ghana wash over you like the soft, golden light of dawn. Feel the calm strength of its kings, the wisdom of its elders, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the gentle hum of trade, the whisper of the wind across the savannas, and the quiet rhythm of daily life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the heart of West Africa, cradled by the enduring presence of the Ghana Empire, ready to continue our journey to the next great chapter of Africa's history, where empires rise, myths flourish, and the continent's story continues to unfold in quiet majesty. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently further westward along the winding rivers and fertile plains of West Africa to a land where golden sunlight illuminates vast savannas, where the Niger River glimmers softly in the distance, and where one of Africa's most remarkable empires arose, the Mali Empire. Imagine a kingdom stretching across rolling landscapes, dotted with bustling towns, verdant fields, and trading hubs that connect distant lands. Here, wealth, culture, and spirituality flourished together in a harmony that would leave an indelible mark on history. The Mali Empire emerged in the 13th century, following the decline of the Ghana Empire, and it soon became one of the largest and most powerful states in Africa. Its wealth was legendary, derived from abundant resources like gold, salt, and agricultural produce. Picture caravans moving steadily across sun-warmed sands, the rhythmic cadence of camel footsteps blending with the soft murmur of traders' voices, and the horizon stretching endlessly, promising distant cities and boundless opportunity. Trade was not just commerce, it was the lifeblood of Mali, linking its people with North Africa, the Mediterranean, and beyond. At the heart of the empire was the city of Timbuktu, a beacon of learning, spirituality, and culture. Imagine walking through streets lined with mud brick houses, the sun warming the earthen walls, as scholars in flowing robes discuss astronomy, law, mathematics, and poetry. Libraries filled with manuscripts preserve centuries of wisdom written in careful calligraphy, inked on delicate pages that record everything from scientific observations to philosophical musings. In Timbuktu, knowledge flows as freely as the Niger River, and every alleyway carries whispers of discovery and enlightenment. And then there was Mansa Musa, the legendary ruler whose name shines across history like a golden sun. Ascending the throne in the early 14th century, Mansa Musa became the Mali Empire's most famous emperor, renowned for both his wealth and his devotion to faith, justice, and culture. Imagine the grandeur of his court, tapestries and gold glinting in the sunlight, the air fragrant with incense, and the soft hum of advisors and scribes attending to the affairs of the kingdom. Every decision he made balanced power with wisdom, prosperity with spirituality, and governance with the well-being of his people. Mansa Musa is perhaps best remembered for his extraordinary pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, a journey that became legendary for its scale and magnificence. Imagine a caravan stretching for miles across the desert, camels carrying gold, food, and gifts, while thousands of attendants and pilgrims follow faithfully. As they travel, Mansa Musa distributes gold to the poor, to towns along the route, and to distant rulers, leaving behind a trail of generosity and influence. The journey was not only a religious duty, but also a statement of Mali's wealth, culture, and global significance. The Mali Empire, under Mansa Musa, was also a center of education and religion. Islamic scholarship flourished, but local traditions continued to coexist alongside the new faith, creating a rich cultural tapestry. Madrasas and mosques were built, libraries expanded, and scholars from distant lands traveled to Mali to study, teach, and debate. Picture the quiet glow of candlelight in a mosque at twilight, the rhythmic recitation of the Quran filling the air, and the serene sense of community and devotion binding people together. Agriculture and trade sustained Mali's population. Farmers cultivated millet, sorghum, rice, and vegetables, while herders tended cattle, sheep, and goats. Villages and towns developed sophisticated systems for storing food, managing water, and maintaining roads, ensuring the empire's prosperity. Imagine walking through a village at dawn, the smell of fresh bread rising from hearths, the laughter of children chasing each other across open fields, and the gentle murmur of river water as villagers draw water and fish for their daily needs. Every detail of life reflects the careful balance of nature, community, and human ingenuity. Art and culture flourished under Mali's patronage. Skilled artisans produced textiles of vibrant colors, gold jewelry of intricate design, carved wooden objects, and pottery adorned with symbols of history and spirituality. Music and storytelling held a central place in daily life. Griots, the empire's storytellers and historians, preserved the deeds of kings, the wisdom of elders, and the myths of the land. Imagine sitting beside a fire in the evening, listening to a griot recount tales of heroes, spirits, and ancestors. The soft rhythm of drums and stringed instruments accompanying every word. each story weaving a gentle thread through time. Mansa Musa's influence extended far beyond Mali. His wealth, wisdom, and diplomacy created connections with distant lands, bringing Mali recognition as a great and powerful state. Scholars and travelers documented the empire, spreading knowledge of its culture, resources, and governance across continents. Imagine the quiet impact of a single ruler whose vision shaped not only his own people, but also the world beyond, leaving a legacy that whispers across centuries like the gentle flow of the Niger River. The Mali Empire also valued justice, order, and community. Local chiefs managed towns and villages, while the king oversaw trade, military affairs, and governance. Laws were maintained to protect citizens, ensure fair trade, and preserve social harmony. Imagine a council meeting under the shade of a large tree, the sun warming the earth as elders and leaders deliberate with calm wisdom, each voice contributing to the careful balance that sustains the kingdom. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of Mali, picture yourself walking along the banks of the Niger River at sunset. The water glows softly with the reflections of mud brick homes. Children's laughter drifts across the fields, and the distant hum of traders preparing for the night's rest fills the air. You feel the quiet strength of a civilization that has thrived for centuries, its stories, wealth, and knowledge flowing gently through time like a serene river. Let the tale of the Mali Empire and Mansa Musa wash over you like golden sunlight on the savannah. Feel the wisdom of kings, the devotion of scholars, the artistry of artisans, and the enduring spirit of a people who shaped West Africa's history. Let the gentle hum of the Niger, the soft rustle of grass, and the quiet rhythm of daily life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the legacy of Mali into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here, cradled in the quiet majesty of the Mali Empire, ready to continue our journey into the next great chapter of African history, where empires expand, cities flourish, and the continent's rich tapestry unfolds further into wonder. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently along the Niger River, flowing eastward from the heart of Mali to the lands where the Songhai Empire rose, a civilization vast, powerful, and full of life. Imagine a landscape of fertile plains, winding rivers, and bustling towns, where the warm sunlight bathes the earth in gold, and the soft murmur of life carries across savannas and markets. Here, in the 15th and 16th centuries, the Songhai people built an empire that stretched across West Africa, connecting distant lands and cultures and leaving a legacy that still whispers across time. The Songhai Empire grew out of earlier kingdoms, flourishing under the leadership of wise rulers who combined military skill, diplomacy, and cultural vision. At its height, Songhai was one of the largest states in Africa, stretching from the Atlantic coast to the edge of the Sahara Desert. Picture vast cities and towns alive with activity, markets filled with merchants and traders, children laughing in the streets, and the gentle clatter of daily life echoing across sunlit plazas. Every corner of the empire hums with the rhythm of civilization, thriving in harmony with the land and its people. At the heart of the Songhai Empire was the city of Gao, its streets lined with mud brick homes, bustling markets, and vibrant centers of learning. Imagine walking along the main thoroughfare, the aroma of spices, fresh bread, and flowing river water blending into a symphony of senses. Scholars in flowing robes discuss philosophy, law, and astronomy, while artisans create intricate crafts, weaving together beauty and function. In Songhai, every step, every gesture, every conversation carries the heartbeat of a civilization rich with knowledge and culture. The empire's most famous ruler, Askia Muhammad, transformed Songhai into a powerful and organized state. He expanded trade, established an efficient administration, and promoted Islamic scholarship, blending governance with faith and wisdom. Picture the king in his court, surrounded by advisors, scholars, and emissaries, sunlight streaming through carved windows, golden light glinting softly on intricate decorations as he listens, decides, and guides the destiny of his people. His leadership ensures that trade, education, and culture thrive, creating a society both prosperous and enduring. Trade was the lifeblood of Songhai. Caravans traversed vast distances across the Sahara, carrying gold, salt, textiles, and other precious goods. These journeys connected West Africa to North Africa, the Mediterranean, and the Middle East, creating a network of commerce, knowledge, and cultural exchange. Imagine a caravan moving steadily through sun-drenched dunes, the camel's footsteps echoing like a soft drumbeat, the traders' quiet songs floating across the wind, and the promise of distant cities shimmering on the horizon. The Songhai people were also skilled farmers, fishermen, and herders. Along the Niger River, fields of millet, sorghum, and rice thrived, while cattle, goats, and sheep grazed on verdant plains. Villages developed systems for irrigation, storage, and governance, ensuring that daily life flowed smoothly. Picture a quiet morning in a riverside village, women drawing water, children playing near the banks, elders teaching the young, and the river reflecting the soft hues of dawn, a mirror of peace and continuity. Religion and scholarship flourished in Songhai, particularly under Askia Muhammad, who promoted Islamic learning while respecting local traditions. Mosques became centers of worship, study, and community, while libraries housed manuscripts that recorded centuries of knowledge. Imagine walking through a quiet madrasa, the scent of parchment and ink mingling with the gentle morning air. Students absorbed in study, the soft rhythm of recitation, creating an atmosphere of serenity and focus. Knowledge here is not just information, it is a connection to the divine, the past, and the future. Art and culture were equally vibrant. Musicians filled the streets with drums, flutes, and stringed instruments, while griots, the storytellers and historians, preserved oral histories, recounting tales of kings, heroes, and the spiritual forces of the land. Picture a twilight gathering, the soft flicker of firelight illuminating faces, the rhythmic beat of drums blending with voices that sing and speak of bravery, wisdom, and love. Each story, each song, each performance is a thread in the rich tapestry of Songhai life, weaving together generations of memory, myth, and experience. The military of Songhai was both disciplined and skilled, protecting trade routes, enforcing law, and defending the empire's borders. Soldiers trained with care, moved with precision, and maintained the stability that allowed commerce, agriculture, and scholarship to thrive. Imagine rows of warriors standing quietly in the early morning light, their spears and shields catching the sun, a calm readiness in their posture, a steady assurance that the kingdom will endure. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Songhai Empire, imagine yourself walking along the banks of the Niger River at sunset. The water glows softly, reflecting the warm colors of the sky. Children play along the shore, merchants close their stalls, and distant songs of scholars and griots fill the air. You feel the quiet presence of a civilization that has shaped West Africa with wisdom, faith, and culture, its stories carried gently by the wind and water. Let the legacy of the Songhai Empire wash over you like the soft flow of the Niger River. Feel the strength of its rulers, the devotion of its scholars, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the gentle hum of trade, the rhythm of daily life, and the whisper of the wind guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the empire's history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Songhai Empire, ready to continue our journey to the next chapter of African history, where kingdoms, empires, and cultures continue to unfold in beauty, myth, and enduring legacy. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently southward toward the lush, tropical landscapes of West Africa to the land of the Kingdom of Benin, a civilization famed for its artistry, governance, and rich cultural heritage. Imagine dense forests stretching across fertile plains, the air warm and fragrant with the scent of flowering trees, and a gentle river reflecting the sunlight as it winds quietly through the land. Here, in what is now southern Nigeria, the Edo people built one of Africa's most remarkable kingdoms, blending political sophistication, spiritual depth, and extraordinary creativity. The Kingdom of Benin emerged as a centralized state around the 11th century CE, though its cultural roots reach back even further. Its rulers, known as the Oba, were both political leaders and spiritual figures, maintaining harmony between the people, the gods, and the land. Picture an Oba seated upon a finely carved throne, adorned with coral beads and golden ornaments, sunlight glinting softly across the intricate designs, while advisors and nobles gather nearby. Every gesture, every word, and every symbol conveys both authority and a deep connection to tradition. Benin City, the kingdom's capital, was a marvel of urban planning and architectural sophistication. Wide streets stretched between neatly arranged homes, marketplaces buzzed with activity, and palaces and shrines rose gracefully, adorned with carvings and sculptures. Imagine walking through the city, the smell of fresh bread and spices mingling with the cool shade of trees lining the streets. Merchants display ivory, textiles, and palm oil, while artisans work in open courtyards, creating the intricate bronze plaques, sculptures, and ceremonial objects that would become the kingdom's signature artistic legacy. Art in the Kingdom of Benin is perhaps its most celebrated feature. The Benin bronzes, meticulously cast from brass and bronze, depict obas, warriors, animals, and scenes from daily life. Each piece tells a story, capturing history, power, and spiritual symbolism with astonishing detail. Imagine watching an artisan at work, molten metal flowing into carefully prepared molds, the soft glow reflecting off polished surfaces, every motion deliberate, a meditation of patience and skill. These works are not mere decoration, they are living records of a civilization's values, achievements, and stories. The spiritual life of Benin was intricately woven into governance, art, and daily life. The Oba was considered semi-divine, a bridge between the people and the gods, and religious rituals were central to maintaining balance and prosperity. Priests and priestesses conducted ceremonies in shrines and sacred groves, offering prayers for rain, fertility, and protection. Imagine a quiet forest, clearing at dawn, sunlight filtering through leaves, the soft chant of prayers blending with birdsong and the gentle rustle of the wind, creating a sacred rhythm that connects earth and spirit. Trade was a vital part of Benin's prosperity. The kingdom exchanged goods with neighboring peoples and distant lands, including ivory, pepper, textiles, and kola nuts. Rivers and coastal routes facilitated commerce, linking Benin to the wider world. Picture a caravan traveling slowly along a sunlit path, traders' voices rising softly in song, camels and boats carrying precious cargo, while children run alongside, laughing, learning the rhythm of commerce and the value of community. Trade was not only about wealth, but also about connection, ideas, and cultural exchange, creating a vibrant, interconnected society. The Kingdom of Benin was also renowned for its military organization and strategic prowess. The Oba maintained a standing army that protected the kingdom's borders, ensured order within towns, and defended trade routes. Soldiers trained diligently, moving with precision and discipline, maintaining the stability necessary for daily life and commerce to flourish. Imagine a line of warriors at dawn, the soft clinking of armor and weapons, the quiet confidence in their posture, a living testament to the strength and resilience of the kingdom. Education and oral tradition flourished alongside art and trade. Griots, storytellers, and elders preserved history, moral lessons, and spiritual teachings, passing them to younger generations. These stories nurtured a sense of identity, community, and continuity. Imagine a quiet evening in a village courtyard. Children gather around an elder beneath the soft glow of lanterns, listening intently to tales of heroic obas, brave warriors, and mythical creatures that roam forests and rivers. Every word, every pause, every gesture carries knowledge, wisdom, and a gentle rhythm that echoes across time. The kingdom's impressive city walls, canals, and urban planning further illustrate the sophistication of Benin society. Walls and moats protected the city, while bridges and canals facilitated movement and trade. Streets were carefully organized, linking marketplaces, shrines, and palaces. Imagine walking along a tree-lined avenue, the soft murmur of the river nearby, children's laughter in the distance, and the gentle rustle of leaves above. The city is alive, a living testament to human ingenuity, social harmony, and the enduring presence of a people deeply connected to their land and history. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Kingdom of Benin, picture yourself standing before the Oba's palace at sunset. The walls glow softly in the warm light. The streets hum quietly with life, and artisans and merchants move with purpose and grace. You feel the calm presence of a civilization that has thrived through art, governance, trade, and spirituality, its legacy echoing across centuries like a soft, enduring song. Let the stories of Benin wash over you like the gentle flow of a river through a fertile forest. Feel the strength of the obus, the devotion of priests, the creativity of artisans, and the enduring spirit of the people. Let the soft rhythm of daily life, the whisper of the wind through trees, and the calm hum of community guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the kingdom's history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Kingdom of Benin, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's history, where kingdoms and empires rise and intertwine, creating a tapestry of life, myth, and enduring legacy across this vast and wondrous continent. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently eastward to the sparkling shores of the Indian Ocean, where the land meets the sea and where the Swahili coast stretches in a ribbon of golden sands, coral reefs, and bustling ports. Imagine the warm sun reflecting on turquoise waters, gentle waves lapping at wooden dhows, and the scent of spices and salt carried on a soft, steady breeze. Here, along the coast of modern-day Kenya, Tanzania, and Mozambique, a remarkable civilization flourished, blending African, Arab, Persian, and Indian influences into a unique culture of trade, learning, and art. The Swahili coast has been inhabited for thousands of years, its people skilled in fishing, farming, and navigation. By the 9th century CE, the coast became dotted with city-states such as Kilwa, Mombasa, Zanzibar, and Sofala, each a hub of commerce, culture, and diplomacy. Imagine walking through one of these coastal towns at dawn. Mud and coral, stone houses line narrow streets, markets hum with activity, and dhows sway gently in the harbor, ready to sail across the sparkling sea to distant lands. Life here is intertwined with the ocean, the wind, and the rhythm of tides, a dance between land and water that has endured across centuries. Trade was the lifeblood of the Swahili coast. Merchants exchanged gold, ivory, timber, and slaves from the African interior for porcelain, silk, and spices from Arabia, India, and even China. The Indian Ocean connected these city-states to a vast network of commerce, bringing wealth, ideas, and cultural exchange. Picture a caravan arriving from the hinterlands, camels laden with ivory and gold, traders greeting coastal merchants with soft voices, and dhows preparing to carry their precious cargo to distant ports. Trade here is both practical and poetic, a bridge connecting distant worlds through the gentle rhythm of exchange. The Swahili people developed a distinct language, Kiswahili, blending Bantu roots with Arabic, Persian, and other influences. This language not only facilitated commerce, but also carried stories, songs, and oral histories across generations. Imagine sitting under the shade of a palm tree, listening to a storyteller recount epic tales of brave sailors, cunning merchants, and mystical creatures that inhabit the deep ocean. The sound of waves mingling with the cadence of words. Every tale carries the wisdom, humor, and heart of the people who call this coast home. Architecture along the Swahili coast reflects both practicality and artistry. Houses were often built of coral stone and mangrove timber, with carved wooden doors, latticed windows, and flat rooftops catching the ocean breeze. Mosques, with their domes and minarets, rose gracefully among the homes, serving as centers of worship, education, and community life. Imagine walking down a narrow street, sunlight bouncing off pale coral walls, the intricate carvings of a wooden door catching your eye, and the distant call to prayer blending softly with the sound of the ocean. Every structure carries the story of adaptation, creativity, and connection to both the land and the sea. Religion played a central role in Swahili life. Islam spread along the coast through trade and cultural exchange, blending with local traditions to create a unique spiritual tapestry. Mosques were not only places of worship, but centers of learning, where scholars studied theology, astronomy, mathematics, and law. Picture a quiet morning in a coastal madrasa, students bent over manuscripts, the scent of ink and parchment in the air, and the soft hum of chanting as lessons unfold gently under the shade of palm fronds. Knowledge here flows like the tide, linking faith, intellect, and daily life. Art and culture thrived alongside trade and scholarship. Carved wooden doors, embroidered textiles, and beautifully crafted jewelry reflected the creativity and skill of Swahili artisans. Music and dance filled festivals and marketplaces, blending African rhythms with Arab melodies, creating a soft, hypnotic cadence that echoes through the streets. Imagine an evening festival. The sun sets over the ocean, drums beat softly, voices rise in harmony, and dancers move gracefully, their shadows flickering on whitewashed walls, a living poem of culture and joy. The Swahili coast was also a place of diplomacy and cultural exchange. City-states maintained relationships with distant empires, negotiating trade agreements, sharing knowledge, and exchanging gifts. Ambassadors and travelers carried stories and ideas across the Indian Ocean, spreading the influence of the Swahili people far and wide. Imagine a calm night at a harbor, ships rocking gently in the moonlight, sailors exchanging news from distant lands, the quiet chatter of traders blending with the gentle lapping of waves, a soft symphony of connection and exchange. Everyday life on the Swahili coast was both practical and beautiful. Fishermen cast their nets at dawn, women prepared meals from fresh fish and tropical fruits, and children played along sandy beaches. Villagers celebrated the cycles of the moon, the changing tides, and the arrival of traders, weaving their lives into the rhythm of nature and the pulse of the ocean. Picture a quiet sunset. The water glows gold, laughter drifts along the shore, and the soft rustle of palm fronds creates a gentle, calming soundtrack for life. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Swahili coast, imagine yourself standing on a sun-warmed pier at twilight. The water reflects the last glow of the sun. Dhows sway gently, and the hum of daily life fills the air softly. You feel the calm presence of a civilization that has thrived through trade, learning, artistry, and adaptation, its legacy carried in language, architecture, and the rhythm of the sea. Let the stories of the Swahili coast wash over you like gentle waves caressing a sandy shore. Feel the strength of its merchants, the devotion of its scholars, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the soft rhythm of ocean tides, the whisper of the wind, and the calm hum of life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest. carrying the coast's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Swahili coast, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, empires, and cultures continue to flourish along rivers, mountains, and plains, weaving a tapestry of life, myth, and enduring legacy. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently southward beyond the savannas of Central Africa and the flowing rivers of the East to the rolling hills and fertile valleys of Southern Africa. Here lies the story of Great Zimbabwe, a kingdom of stone, gold, and mystery, where the echoes of ancient civilization whisper through massive walls and quiet valleys. Imagine a land of sun-warmed plains, gentle rivers, and rocky outcrops rising like guardians of time, bathed in the golden glow of dawn and the soft light of evening. Great Zimbabwe emerged around the 11th century CE, flourishing as a powerful center of trade, culture, and political organization. The name Zimbabwe itself comes from the Shona word Zimba za Mabwe, meaning houses of stone. And indeed, the kingdom's most striking feature is its massive stone structures, built without mortar, standing as silent witnesses to human ingenuity and craftsmanship. Picture walking along the great enclosure, the largest stone structure in pre-colonial southern Africa, feeling the cool stones beneath your fingertips, the sunlight casting long shadows across the carefully placed walls, and the whisper of history carried by the wind. Trade was central to Great Zimbabwe's prosperity. Gold, ivory, and other resources were exchanged for goods from the Swahili coast, Arabia, India, and China. Caravans crossed vast distances, linking the interior to the bustling coastal trade cities, carrying wealth, ideas, and culture. Imagine a caravan winding slowly through sun-drenched valleys, camels and oxen moving steadily, traders singing softly to keep spirits strong, while the distant sound of a river adds a gentle rhythm to the journey. Trade was not only a means of wealth, but a bridge between distant peoples and civilizations. The rulers of Great Zimbabwe, known as the Mwene Mutapa, and other local chiefs, governed with authority, maintaining social order, justice, and the prosperity of their people. These leaders were considered intermediaries between the living and the spiritual world, guiding both the practical and mystical aspects of life. Picture a king seated beneath the shade of a large baobab tree, surrounded by advisors and elders, discussing matters of trade, agriculture, and diplomacy, every word and gesture carefully measured, reflecting both wisdom and reverence for tradition. Agriculture and livestock sustained the people of Great Zimbabwe. Fertile valleys were cultivated with sorghum, millet, and maize, while cattle, goats, and sheep grazed on rolling plains. Villages were carefully organized, with homes constructed from stone or clay, communal spaces for ceremonies, and pathways connecting fields, rivers, and markets. Imagine the quiet rhythm of village life at sunrise, smoke rising from hearth fires, children chasing each other along pathways, women carrying water from rivers, and elders teaching the young a gentle, enduring dance of community and continuity. Art and craftsmanship flourished in Great Zimbabwe. Stone carvings, pottery, beads, and goldsmithing reflected both utility and beauty. The iconic soapstone birds perched atop walls symbolize spiritual and political power, their forms carved with precision and care. Picture an artisan at work, chiseling a delicate bird from smooth stone, the sunlight catching every curve and edge, the quiet concentration reflecting generations of skill and devotion. Each creation tells a story, a connection between human effort, spirituality, and the enduring presence of the land. Religion and spirituality were deeply intertwined with daily life. Ancestors and spirits were honored. Rituals marked agricultural cycles, and sacred spaces were maintained for worship and reflection. Imagine a ceremonial gathering at dusk, drums beating softly, the scent of incense rising into the evening air, people moving gracefully in patterned dances, and a quiet sense of connection to the land, the sky, and the unseen forces that guide life. Every movement, every sound, every prayer forms a rhythm that anchors the community in time and space. Great Zimbabwe's influence extended beyond its walls. Trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange connected it to distant lands and peoples. Gold from its mines enriched coastal cities, and ideas and technologies flowed along the same routes. Picture a dhow sailing along the Swahili coast, carrying goods from the interior, its sails catching the wind, the sea reflecting the colors of sunset, linking inland kingdoms to the wider world, a gentle current of human ingenuity and connection. The kingdom's stone architecture is remarkable not only for its size, but for its elegance and durability. Walls rise in sweeping curves. Enclosures are arranged with intentional symmetry, and the structures harmonize with the landscape. Imagine walking along a curved wall at sunrise, the stones warm beneath your hands, the valley stretching before you, and the sense of time folding around you, each stone a silent witness to centuries of life, trade, and governance. Southern African kingdoms beyond Great Zimbabwe also flourished, including Mapungubwe and the Mutapa Kingdom. These states shared similar patterns of trade, agriculture, and artistry, creating networks of influence and cultural exchange across the region. Imagine traveling through these lands, rivers glimmering under the sun, villages humming with life, markets rich with color and sound, and the gentle rhythm of daily life blending with the enduring presence of ancestral spirits. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of Great Zimbabwe and the southern kingdoms, picture yourself standing atop a rocky outcrop at twilight. The sun dips low, casting golden light across the stone walls. The valley below hums softly with life, and the wind carries the scent of earth, grass, and distant forests. You feel the calm presence of civilizations that have thrived through trade, art, governance, and spiritual devotion, their legacies whispered gently by the stones and the breeze. Let the story of Great Zimbabwe wash over you like a quiet river flowing through fertile valleys. Feel the strength of its rulers, the devotion of its artisans, the rhythm of village life, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the soft rustle of trees, the gentle murmur of rivers, and the warmth of the sun guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the kingdom's history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of Great Zimbabwe and the southern African kingdoms, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where empires, trade networks, and spiritual traditions continue to shape the continent's story with quiet grandeur. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently toward the heart of Africa, to the lush forests, winding rivers, and rolling hills of Central Africa. Here lies the story of the Kongo Kingdom, a civilization that flourished along the Congo River and its tributaries, a land where nature and human ingenuity wove together to create a rich tapestry of culture, governance, and spirituality. Imagine dense forests, alive with birdsong, the gentle murmur of rivers, and villages nestled in clearings where smoke rises softly from hearths, carrying the aroma of cooking and community across the warm air. The Congo Kingdom emerged around the 14th century, its people known as the Bakongo, stretching across what is now northern Angola, Western Democratic Republic of Congo, and Southern Republic of Congo. The kingdom became a powerful and organized state with a sophisticated system of governance. The ruler, known as the Mani Congo, guided the kingdom with authority, wisdom, and spiritual insight, serving as both political leader and mediator between the living and the spiritual world. Picture the Mani Congo seated on an elevated platform, adorned in colorful fabrics and intricate beadwork, sunlight filtering through the dense canopy above, surrounded by advisors, nobles, and spiritual guides. Every gesture, every word, every ritual carries weight, balancing power, faith, and the well-being of the people. Central to Congo society were the provinces, each managed by local leaders who reported to the Mani Congo. This decentralized structure allowed the kingdom to maintain stability, manage resources, and facilitate trade across vast territories. Imagine walking through a quiet provincial town, children chasing one another along pathways, women carrying baskets of produce from fields, and elders offering guidance in the shade of giant trees, all harmoniously connected to the heartbeat of the kingdom. Trade was a cornerstone of the Congo Kingdom's prosperity. The rivers served as highways, linking villages, towns, and distant regions. Merchants exchanged copper, iron, ivory, raffia cloth, and agricultural products, creating vibrant networks of commerce both within the kingdom and beyond. Picture a canoe gliding gently along a river at dawn, its cargo balanced carefully, traders softly singing to pass the time, and the water reflecting the soft golden hues of sunrise. A serene path connecting land, people, and culture. Religion and spirituality permeated every aspect of life. The Bakongo believed in a supreme creator, Nzambi Mpungu, as well as in ancestral spirits who guided daily life and protected families. Rituals and ceremonies honored the dead, sought blessings for crops and livestock, and marked significant life events. Imagine a quiet evening by the river, priests and priestesses chanting softly, smoke curling from ceremonial fires, and the rhythmic beat of drums merging with the whispers of the forest, creating a gentle, enveloping sense of presence, protection, and continuity. Art and craftsmanship flourished in the Congo Kingdom. Skilled artisans created masks, sculptures, jewelry, and ceremonial objects that conveyed both beauty and meaning. These objects were often imbued with spiritual significance, representing ancestors, deities, and the forces of nature. Picture an artisan carving a wooden statue late at night, candlelight flickering across the intricate patterns, hands moving with care and devotion, every detail a meditation on ancestry, faith, and the enduring spirit of the people. Education and oral tradition were vital to Congo culture. Griots, storytellers, and elders preserved history, genealogies, and moral teachings, passing them to younger generations. Imagine sitting around a softly glowing fire, listening to a griot recount tales of heroic kings, brave warriors, and mystical spirits that inhabit the forests and rivers. The cadence of words, the pauses, the rising and falling tones create a gentle rhythm that soothes the mind while carrying the listener through time and memory. The Congo Kingdom also engaged with the wider world. By the late 15th century, Portuguese explorers arrived along the coast, introducing new goods, ideas, and religions. The Bakongo engaged with these visitors carefully, adopting certain technologies and knowledge while maintaining their own cultural integrity. Imagine a quiet coastal exchange at dawn, canoes laden with local goods meeting foreign ships, conversations blending languages softly, a gentle negotiation of understanding and respect across oceans. Agriculture and sustenance were central to daily life. Villages cultivated cassava, millet, yams, and palm oil, while fishing and hunting supplemented diets. The rhythm of planting, tending, and harvesting was intertwined with ritual and celebration, marking the cycles of life and the gifts of the earth. Picture a calm morning in a village, smoke drifting from cooking fires, children laughing near riverbanks, and elders guiding young hands in planting seeds, each gesture part of the harmonious pulse of life. The Congo Kingdom was also notable for its intricate social and political structures. Lineage, clan affiliations, and kinship determined roles and responsibilities, while councils of elders advised the Mani Congo and mediated disputes. Imagine a council gathering beneath the shade of giant trees. Sunlight dappled across the ground as elders, deliberate with quiet wisdom, the voices measured and calm, creating decisions that ripple through the lives of countless people with steady, gentle care. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Congo Kingdom and Central African civilizations, picture yourself walking along a riverbank at twilight. The water glows softly, reflecting the last rays of the sun. Villagers prepare for evening, drums beat quietly in the distance, and the forest hums with life. You feel the calm presence of a civilization that has thrived through governance, trade, spirituality, and artistry. Its legacy whispered softly through rivers, forests, and generations of people. Let the story of the Congo Kingdom wash over you like a gentle river flowing through the heart of the forest. Feel the wisdom of rulers, the devotion of priests, the creativity of artisans, and the enduring spirit of the people. Let the soft rustle of leaves, the murmur of rivers, and the gentle rhythm of village life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the kingdom's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Congo Kingdom, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, empires, and cultures continue to flourish across rivers, mountains, and plains, weaving a tapestry of life, myth, and enduring legacy. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently northeastward to the highlands and rugged landscapes of the Horn of Africa, where mountains rise majestically, rivers carve their quiet paths, and a civilization of remarkable endurance and faith has thrived for millennia. Here lies the story of Ethiopia, a land of legends, ancient kingdoms, and spiritual devotion, where the Axumite Empire once stood as a beacon of wealth, learning, and influence. Imagine a landscape bathed in golden light at dawn, terraces cascading down hillsides, and villages nestled among rugged peaks, the air carrying the scent of earth, grass, and incense from distant shrines. The Axumite Empire, which emerged around the 1st century CE, became one of the most powerful civilizations in Africa and a major player in the Red Sea and Indian Ocean trade networks. Its heart lay in the highlands of northern Ethiopia, with cities such as Axum serving as political, religious, and commercial centers. Picture a bustling marketplace in Axum, traders from distant lands displaying ivory, gold, spices, and textiles. The air filled with soft conversation, the clatter of coins, and the gentle rhythm of daily commerce. Every corner of the city hums with life, linking the local and the global in a delicate, harmonious balance. Trade was central to Axum's prosperity. Caravans and ships carried goods across the Red Sea, linking Ethiopia to Arabia, India, and beyond. Gold, ivory, and exotic animals moved outward, while imported spices, textiles, and ceramics enriched local life. Imagine a dhow gliding along the Red Sea, sails catching the wind, traders softly humming to maintain rhythm, and the water reflecting the early morning sun. A gentle dance of connection across continents. Trade was more than commerce. It was a conduit for ideas, art, and culture, shaping the kingdom's identity and influence. The rulers of Axum, known as kings or negusis, governed with authority, balancing political power, religious devotion, and social order. They were considered intermediaries between the divine and the people, guiding laws, trade, and spiritual life. Picture a king seated upon a carved throne, sunlight spilling through palace windows, advisors and priests surrounding him, every gesture imbued with symbolism, and every decision carefully weighed to maintain harmony and prosperity. These rulers ensured that the empire's strength and wisdom endured across generations. Religion played a central role in the life of Ethiopia. Before the adoption of Christianity in the 4th century CE, Axumites worshipped a variety of gods associated with the sun, moon, and natural forces. With the conversion to Christianity under King Azana, Ethiopia became one of the earliest Christian nations in the world. Imagine the soft glow of candlelight in a stone church, the air fragrant with incense, monks chanting in solemn rhythm, and communities gathering in devotion, a quiet testament to faith's enduring power. Churches carved into cliffs and stone monuments reflect the deep intertwining of spirituality, art, and architecture. Art and architecture flourished in Axum. The famous stele, massive stone obelisks, rise with quiet majesty, their surfaces etched with patterns, inscriptions, and symbols. Imagine standing at the base of one of these towering monuments, feeling the cool stone beneath your fingertips, sunlight glinting across intricate carvings, and the wind whispering through the valley. Each structure embodies the skill, vision, and spiritual devotion of a people who understood the sacred rhythm of stone, sky, and human life. The Axumites also developed a written language, Ge'ez, which became the foundation of Ethiopian literature, religious texts, and record-keeping. Scholars, priests, and scribes meticulously recorded history, genealogy, and sacred teachings, passing knowledge across generations. Imagine the quiet glow of a scriptorium, ink flowing onto parchment, fingers tracing letters with care, the soft scratching of quills creating a meditative rhythm, knowledge preserved like a gentle river flowing through time. Agriculture and sustenance were deeply connected to the land. Terraced fields provided grains, legumes, and vegetables, while livestock grazed along hillsides. Villagers worked in harmony with seasonal cycles, rivers, and rainfall, sustaining communities with a careful balance of effort and respect for nature. Picture a calm morning in a highland village, smoke rising from hearths, children laughing near streams, elders guiding young hands in planting, and the soft hum of life weaving a quiet rhythm through the hills. Military and diplomacy ensured the empire's stability and influence. Axum maintained strong fortifications, trained armies, and navigated complex relationships with neighboring states and distant powers. Imagine soldiers moving silently through the highlands at dawn, disciplined and alert, their calm presence a quiet reassurance, ensuring that the people's lives could flourish in peace and security. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Kingdom of Ethiopia and the Aksumite legacy, picture yourself standing on a high plateau at twilight. The sun dips behind rugged peaks, valleys glow softly in fading light, and rivers wind gently through the landscape. You feel the calm presence of a civilization that has endured through trade, faith, art, and governance, its legacy whispered softly through mountains, rivers, and centuries of devotion. Let the story of Ethiopia and the Aksumite Empire wash over you like a serene river flowing through highland valleys. Feel the wisdom of its kings, the devotion of its priests, the artistry of its builders, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the soft rustle of grass, the murmur of streams, and the gentle rhythm of highland life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the empire's history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of Ethiopia and the Aksumite legacy, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, trade networks, and spiritual traditions continue to shape the continent's story with quiet grandeur and enduring wonder. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently northward along the winding course of the Nile into the sun-warmed lands of Nubia, a region that stretches through modern-day southern Egypt and northern Sudan. Imagine golden sands, palm-fringed riverbanks, and ancient towns rising like whispers of history along the gentle curves of the great river. Here, a civilization flourished, a land of kings and pharaohs, of pyramids and temples, where human ingenuity and spiritual devotion merged seamlessly with the flowing rhythms of the Nile. The Kingdom of Nubia, often referred to by the ancient Egyptians as Kush, has a history that stretches back millennia. It was a land of powerful rulers, skilled artisans, and vibrant culture, deeply intertwined with its northern neighbor, Egypt. yet proudly distinct in its identity and achievements. Picture a Nubian city at dawn, mud brick homes glimmering in the soft sunlight, the scent of the river rising with the mist, and villagers moving calmly through daily routines. A harmonious blend of nature, culture, and human ingenuity. Trade and commerce were central to Nubia's prosperity. Gold, ivory, ebony, and exotic animals moved southward along the Nile, while luxury goods, copper, and manufactured items traveled northward from Egypt and the Mediterranean. Imagine boats gliding silently down the Nile at sunrise, their sails catching a gentle breeze, traders softly singing to mark the rhythm of the journey, and the river reflecting the first light like a mirror to the sky. Trade here was both practical and poetic, a lifeline connecting peoples, cultures, and distant lands. The Nubian pharaohs, particularly during the 25th dynasty of Egypt, wielded power with both authority and grace. They ruled not only Nubia, but also Egypt, uniting the two lands and leaving behind a legacy of monumental architecture, political vision, and cultural fusion. Picture a Nubian pharaoh seated upon a throne of carved stone, adorned in gold and intricate jewelry, advisors and priests surrounding him, sunlight glinting softly across ceremonial regalia. Every word, every gesture, every ritual reflects the careful balance of governance, spirituality, and the well-being of the people. Religion and spirituality were woven deeply into Nubian life. The people honored a pantheon of gods, many shared with Egypt, including Amun, Isis, and Osiris, while also venerating ancestral spirits. Temples, pyramids, and sacred sites marked the landscape, places where the living and the divine met. Imagine walking through a quiet temple at dusk, the warm glow of oil lamps reflecting off stone carvings, the soft cadence of chants filling the air, and the gentle rustle of ceremonial robes blending with the whisper of the wind. Every structure, every ritual, and every prayer is part of a living connection between earth, sky, and spirit. Art and craftsmanship flourished in Nubia. Stone sculptures, pottery, jewelry, and intricate carvings captured both the physical and spiritual world with astonishing detail. Imagine an artisan shaping a delicate amulet from gold or carving a sandstone relief depicting gods and kings, the soft sunlight highlighting every curve and line. Each creation is a meditation on life, power, faith, and memory, a bridge between the present and the legacy of ancestors. The Nubians were also skilled builders, constructing impressive pyramids and temples that echoed the grandeur of ancient Egypt, yet carried distinct Nubian characteristics. Their pyramids, smaller and steeper than their northern neighbors, rise from desert sands like silent sentinels, guarding tombs and memories of kings long past. Imagine walking among these pyramids at sunrise, shadows stretching across golden stone, the wind carrying faint echoes of rituals and prayers, and a quiet sense of connection to centuries of history and devotion. Education and oral tradition were vital to Nubian culture. Elders, priests, and scribes passed down knowledge, history, and spiritual teachings through generations. Picture a quiet evening by the Nile, children listening attentively as an elder recounts stories of heroic kings, daring journeys, and mystical beings. The river's gentle flow, providing a soft, calming accompaniment. Every tale, every pause, every rhythm nurtures understanding, continuity, and reverence for the past. Agriculture and daily life were closely linked to the Nile. Farmers cultivated grains, vegetables, and flax, while livestock grazed along fertile riverbanks. The rhythm of planting, tending, and harvesting followed the cycles of the river and the sun, creating a life in harmony with nature. Imagine a calm morning, smoke rising from hearth fires, children running between fields, women drawing water from the river, and elders guiding young hands in planting seeds, each motion part of a gentle, timeless rhythm. Military strength and diplomacy ensured Nubia's stability. Soldiers protected borders, escorted traders, and maintained order, while rulers navigated relationships with Egypt, the Mediterranean, and neighboring African kingdoms. Imagine lines of warriors at dawn, disciplined yet calm, their presence a steady reassurance of security, their shadows stretching across sand and river alike. These guardians of the kingdom allowed culture, trade, and daily life to flourish uninterrupted. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of Nubia and the Nubian pharaohs, picture yourself standing on a quiet riverbank at sunset. The Nile glows softly in the golden light. Boats sway gently in the calm waters, and the distant hum of village life blends with the whisper of the wind. You feel the enduring presence of a civilization that thrived through governance, artistry, spirituality, and trade, its legacy flowing quietly through rivers, pyramids, and the hearts of its people. Let the story of Nubia wash over you like a gentle river flowing through sunlit deserts and fertile banks. Feel the wisdom of its kings, the devotion of its priests, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the soft rustle of reeds, the gentle murmur of the Nile, and the calm rhythm of village life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the kingdom's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of Nubia, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, trade networks, and spiritual traditions continue to weave an intricate, timeless tapestry across this magnificent continent. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently to the eastern highlands and the shores of the Red Sea, where the kingdom of Axum, in what is now northern Ethiopia and Eritrea, once thrived as a center of commerce, culture, and spiritual devotion. Imagine rugged mountains rising majestically, valleys carpeted with lush greenery, and the distant shimmer of the Red Sea reflecting the soft morning sun. Here, an empire of remarkable maritime prowess and cultural richness connected Africa to distant lands across the seas, leaving a legacy that flows through history like a gentle, enduring river. The kingdom of Axum, emerging around the 1st century CE, was strategically positioned to control both land and sea trade routes. Caravans crossed the highlands, linking Axum with Nubia, the interior of Africa, and the southern Arabian Peninsula, while ports along the Red Sea opened pathways to India, Arabia, and even the distant lands of the Mediterranean. Picture a calm morning at the port of Adulis. Dhows bob gently in the water, their sails catching a soft breeze. Merchants exchange goods in measured tones, and the water reflects the golden light of dawn, carrying whispers of distant lands across the horizon. Trade was the lifeblood of Axum's prosperity. Gold, ivory, exotic animals, and frankincense moved along overland and maritime routes, while textiles, spices, ceramics, and glassware arrived from foreign shores. Imagine a caravan winding slowly down a terraced highland path, the soft rhythm of hooves echoing across valleys, traders murmuring songs to pass the time, and the soft glint of precious goods reflecting the sun, each item a silent messenger of connection between continents. Trade here was both practical and poetic, a gentle dance linking distant peoples through shared commerce, ideas, and culture. Axumite rulers, known as negus or kings, governed with authority, guiding the empire's trade, political affairs, and spiritual life. They were seen as intermediaries between the divine and their people, balancing governance with religious devotion. Picture a king seated upon a carved throne in a sunlit palace, advisors and priests gathered nearby, the soft murmur of discussion blending with the rustle of ceremonial robes, every word and gesture reflecting wisdom, diplomacy, and foresight. These rulers ensured that Axum's influence endured across land and sea, shaping both local life and global connections. Religion was central to Axumite culture, particularly after King Ezana embraced Christianity in the 4th century CE, making Axum one of the earliest Christian kingdoms in the world. Churches, monasteries, and sacred sites flourished, blending local traditions with the new faith. Imagine a quiet church carved from stone, candlelight flickering across intricate carvings, monks chanting softly, and communities gathering in serene devotion. The harmony of human belief reflected in architecture, ritual, and song. Spirituality permeated every facet of life, linking people to ancestors, nature, and the divine. Art and craftsmanship thrived in Axum. Stone obelisks and stelae, carved with intricate patterns and inscriptions, rise like guardians across the highlands, their surfaces reflecting the interplay of sunlight and shadow. Imagine standing beneath one of these towering monuments, cool stone under your fingertips, sunlight glinting across delicate carvings, and the wind whispering through the valley. Each structure embodies both technical skill and spiritual significance, a testament to human ingenuity and devotion. Axum's maritime trade brought not only goods, but ideas, knowledge, and cultural exchange. Sailors and merchants from Arabia, India, and even the Roman Empire arrived at its ports, exchanging stories, learning, and artistic traditions. Imagine a quiet evening at a port, dhows rocking gently in the water, distant voices blending languages softly, the scent of spices carried on a gentle breeze, and the rhythmic lapping of the sea creating a natural, soothing soundtrack for dialogue, commerce, and cultural fusion. Education and literacy were highly valued in Axum. The Ge'ez script facilitated record keeping, religious texts, and scholarly pursuits. Picture a scriptorium bathed in soft sunlight, monks carefully copying manuscripts, ink flowing onto parchment, the gentle scratching of quills, creating a meditative rhythm, each letter preserving knowledge, history, and faith for generations to come. Knowledge here is a living river, flowing from one mind to another, carrying wisdom across centuries. Agriculture and sustenance were closely tied to the land. Terraced fields grew grains, legumes, and vegetables, while livestock grazed on rolling highlands. Daily life followed the rhythms of sun, rain, and seasonal cycles, integrating practical work with communal celebration and ritual. Imagine a calm morning in a highland village, smoke curling from cooking fires, children laughing near streams, women tending crops, and elders guiding young hands, each gesture a quiet testament to balance, harmony, and continuity. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the kingdom of Axum and its maritime trade, picture yourself standing on a sunlit pier overlooking the Red Sea. The water shimmers gently, dhows rock softly in the harbor, and the distant hills glow with the last light of day. You feel the quiet presence of a civilization that has thrived through commerce, faith, artistry, and diplomacy, its legacy whispered through waves, winds, and centuries of connection. Let the story of Axum wash over you like a gentle tide flowing across warm, sunlit waters. Feel the wisdom of its rulers, the devotion of its people, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of the kingdom. Let the soft rustle of palm fronds, the gentle lap of the sea, and the quiet rhythm of port life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the empire's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of Axum, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where trade, culture, and spirituality continue to weave a rich and timeless tapestry across this magnificent continent. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently westward into the heart of what is today southwestern Nigeria, where rolling savannas meet fertile forests, and the Oyo Empire, one of the greatest Yoruba civilizations, once flourished with power, culture, and sophistication. Imagine a landscape bathed in warm sunlight, dotted with villages of mud brick homes, bustling marketplaces, and vast stretches of farmland, all connected by a rhythm of rivers, paths, and human ingenuity. Here, a civilization rich in governance, spirituality, and artistry thrived, leaving a legacy that continues to echo softly through time. The Oyo Empire emerged around the 14th century CE, built upon centuries of Yoruba cultural development. Its rulers, the Alafin of Oyo, governed with a combination of authority, wisdom, and spiritual guidance. Picture an Alafin seated upon a throne of polished wood and ivory, draped in vibrant textiles and coral beads, surrounded by chiefs, advisors, and priests. Every gesture, every word, every ritual carries the weight of centuries of governance, connecting human leadership to divine blessing and guiding the empire's prosperity and stability. Trade and commerce were central to Oyo's strength. The empire controlled critical trade routes connecting inland regions with coastal ports, exchanging cola nuts, cloth, gold, and agricultural products. Imagine a caravan moving through the sunlit savannah. Traders' voices rise softly in song, oxen plod steadily, and baskets of goods glint in the sunlight, a quiet rhythm of connection linking villages, towns, and distant lands. Trade here was not merely economic, it was a lifeline of culture, knowledge, and human interaction, weaving communities together across vast distances. Governance in Oyo was sophisticated, combining monarchy with councils of chiefs, advisors, and elders. Decisions were made with care, balancing the needs of the people, the mandates of the gods, and the vision of the ruler. Picture a council meeting beneath the shade of a large Iroko tree, the murmured deliberations of elders, the soft rustle of ceremonial garments, and the warm sunlight filtering through leaves, each gesture and word contributing to the steady rhythm of justice and social harmony. Religion and spirituality were deeply embedded in Oyo life. The Yoruba practiced a complex system of beliefs centered around a pantheon of deities known as orishas, each representing forces of nature, human virtues, or cosmic principles. Priests, priestesses, and diviners guided the people through rituals, offerings, and festivals. Imagine a quiet forest grove at dawn. Incense curls gently in the air, drums beat softly, and the voices of worshippers rise and fall in reverent cadence, connecting the human world with the unseen forces that guide life. Art, music, and oral tradition flourished in Oyo society. Sculptures, masks, textiles, and beadwork captured both beauty and meaning, while griots, singers, and storytellers preserved history, genealogies, and legends. Picture an evening gathering. The soft flicker of firelight illuminates intricately carved masks. The gentle rhythm of drums sets a tranquil pace, and the storyteller's voice rises and falls, carrying tales of kings, warriors, and spiritual beings across generations. Each performance is both an art and a gentle meditation on identity, memory, and culture. The Oyo Empire maintained a disciplined military to protect its borders, enforce laws, and secure trade routes. Cavalry and infantry units moved with precision and coordination, their presence ensuring the stability necessary for cultural and economic prosperity. Imagine rows of soldiers at sunrise, the soft gleam of spears and shields, the calm, measured breathing of warriors, and the quiet assurance of protection, a silent rhythm woven into the fabric of daily life. Agriculture sustained Oyo communities and reflected the intimate connection between people and the land. Villages cultivated yams, millet, maize, and palm oil, while livestock roamed along sunlit pastures. Picture a quiet morning in a village, women carrying baskets of produce along narrow paths, children laughing near riverbanks, elders guiding young hands in planting, and the gentle murmur of village life blending with the hum of nature. Every movement is part of a harmonious cycle of sustenance, care, and continuity. Education, knowledge, and storytelling were pillars of Yoruba civilization. Elders and griots passed down wisdom orally, teaching young people the values, history, and spiritual knowledge of their ancestors. Imagine sitting under a broad tree in the late afternoon, the soft hum of cicadas blending with the storyteller's voice, tales of heroic kings, clever warriors, and mystical orishas flowing gently through the air, embedding lessons in memory, culture, and imagination. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Oyo Empire and Yoruba civilization, picture yourself walking along the gentle banks of a river at twilight. The water glows softly in the fading light. The distant murmur of a village fills the air, and the wind carries the faint scent of blossoms and smoke from hearth fires. You feel the calm presence of a civilization that thrived through governance, spirituality, artistry, and trade. its legacy whispered gently through rivers, forests, and generations of people. Let the story of Oyo and the Yoruba wash over you like a soft river winding through sunlit savannas. Feel the wisdom of its kings, the devotion of its priests, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of the people. Let the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle murmur of rivers, and the calm rhythm of village life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the empire's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Oyo Empire, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, empires, and spiritual traditions continue to flourish across the continent, weaving an intricate and timeless tapestry of life, myth, and enduring legacy. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently westward to the heart of West Africa, where the Niger River flows through sun-drenched plains, rolling savannas, and ancient trading towns. Here lies the story of the Kingdom of Mali, a land of wealth, knowledge, and culture, where kings and scholars alike shaped a civilization whose influence stretched far beyond its borders. Imagine the golden light of dawn spilling across fertile fields, the soft murmur of the Niger blending with the calls of birds, and villages alive with the gentle rhythm of daily life. The Kingdom of Mali emerged in the 13th century, rising from the foundations of earlier West African states. Its most famous rulers, such as Sundiata Keita and Mansa Musa, guided the empire with wisdom, vision, and a profound sense of connection to both their people and the wider world. Picture Mansa Musa on his throne, a calm, commanding presence, adorned in flowing robes and gold jewelry, the sunlight catching softly on his crown, and the gentle hum of advisors' voices blending with the quiet rhythm of the palace. Every decision, every gesture, every ceremonial act reflects centuries of governance, spirituality, and cultural sophistication. Trade was the lifeblood of Mali. The empire's strategic location along the Niger River and trans-Saharan trade routes allowed it to become a hub for gold, salt, ivory, and other valuable commodities. Imagine caravans winding across sunlit deserts, camels moving steadily, traders' voices rising softly in song, and the golden shimmer of the Saharan sand reflecting the wealth of the land. Trade here was not only a means of economic prosperity, but also a conduit for ideas, cultural exchange, and connection with distant civilizations. The cities of Mali, particularly Timbuktu and Djenné, were centers of learning, culture, and religion. Timbuktu's mosques, madrasas, and libraries attracted scholars from across Africa and beyond, creating a vibrant intellectual atmosphere. Picture a quiet library at dusk, soft candlelight illuminating shelves filled with manuscripts, scholars bent over texts in thoughtful silence, the gentle rustle of parchment, and the occasional soft whisper of discussion filling the air. Knowledge flows here like a calm river, carrying wisdom across generations and continents. Religion played a central role in Malian society. Islam, introduced through trade and cultural exchange, merged with local beliefs, creating a spiritual tapestry that guided daily life, law, and governance. Imagine a serene evening at a mosque, the call to prayer rising softly above the city, devotees moving with quiet reverence, and the warm glow of lamps illuminating carved wooden doors and minarets, each detail reflecting devotion, artistry, and faith. Art and architecture flourished across Mali, from intricately carved wooden doors to the iconic mud brick mosques of Djenné. Every structure and object carries both beauty and meaning. Picture artisans at work in the golden afternoon light, hands shaping clay, chisels carving delicate patterns, the soft murmur of focused conversation blending with a distant rhythm of drums, creating objects that endure as both functional and sacred expressions of culture. Education and oral tradition were vital pillars of Malayan civilization. Griots, poets, and storytellers preserved genealogies, epic tales, and moral teachings, passing them gently to younger generations. Imagine a quiet night beneath a star-filled sky, children seated on the soft ground, elders recounting the epic of Sandiata, the rhythm of words weaving a gentle melody, carrying lessons of courage, wisdom, and the interconnectedness of all life. Every story, every pause, every intonation nurtures memory, identity, and community. Agriculture sustained Mali and reflected the intimate connection between people and the land. Villages cultivated millet, sorghum, rice, and other crops, while livestock grazed along fertile riverbanks. Daily life followed the rhythms of sun, rain, and seasonal cycles, integrating the work with celebration, ritual, and communal care. Picture a calm morning in a riverside village, smoke curling from hearths, children laughing near fields, women tending crops, and elders guiding young hands in planting, all movements forming a quiet, harmonious rhythm that echoes across time. Mali's military and diplomacy ensured the kingdom's stability and influence. Cavalry, archers, and infantry protected borders, trade routes, and communities, while rulers negotiated alliances and managed relations with neighboring states. Imagine rows of soldiers standing quietly at sunrise, the soft gleam of weapons, the calm focus of disciplined men and women, and the reassuring presence of order, allowing daily life, trade, and culture to flourish peacefully. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Kingdom of Mali, picture yourself walking along the gentle banks of the Niger at twilight. The water glows softly under the fading sun. The hum of village life drifts across fields and markets, and the soft rustle of palms blends with the distant call of birds. You feel the enduring presence of a civilization that thrived through trade, knowledge, governance, and spiritual devotion. Its legacy whispered gently through rivers, libraries, and generations of people. Let the story of Mali wash over you like a slow, calm river flowing through sunlit savannas and fertile valleys. Feel the wisdom of its rulers, the devotion of its scholars, the artistry of its people, and the enduring spirit of the kingdom. Let the gentle rhythm of the Niger, the soft hum of marketplaces, and the quiet pulse of learning guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying Mali's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Kingdom of Mali, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where empires, trade, knowledge, and spirituality continue to shape the continent's enduring story with quiet grandeur. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently along the meandering Niger River, where the lands of West Africa stretch wide and sun-drenched, and the story of the Songhai Empire unfolds. Imagine fertile plains, gently rolling hills, and rivers shimmering in the warm light of early morning, the soft hum of village life blending with the distant calls of birds. Here, one of Africa's largest and most powerful empires rose, a civilization of kings, scholars, traders, and artisans whose influence reached far beyond the riverbanks. The Songhai Empire, emerging in the 15th century, grew from the foundations of the earlier Mali state, eventually eclipsing its predecessor in both territorial reach and influence. Its rulers, such as Sunni Ali and Askia Muhammad, guided the empire with a blend of military skill, political wisdom, and religious devotion. Picture Askia Muhammad seated on a grand throne, sunlight glinting softly on ceremonial attire. Advisors and scholars gathered nearby, their quiet voices blending into a gentle rhythm of discussion and counsel. Every gesture, every word, every decree reflects careful balance, linking governance with spirituality, justice, and prosperity. Trade was the lifeblood of Songhai. The empire controlled key trans-Saharan trade routes, exchanging gold, salt, cola nuts, textiles, and slaves with distant lands. Imagine a caravan gliding across golden desert sands, camels moving steadily, traders softly singing to maintain rhythm, baskets of goods glinting in the sun, and the gentle murmur of conversation flowing like a soft river across dunes and oases. Trade here was both practical and poetic, a bridge connecting peoples, cultures, and ideas across vast distances. Songhai's cities, especially Gao and Timbuktu, were vibrant centers of commerce, learning, and culture. Timbuktu, with its mosques, madrasas, and libraries, became synonymous with scholarship and intellectual curiosity. Picture a quiet evening in a library, manuscripts stacked meticulously, scholars bent over texts under soft candlelight, the gentle scratching of quills creating a meditative rhythm, and the occasional soft murmur of discussion blending with the hush of the night. Knowledge flows here like a calm river, carrying wisdom across generations, preserving the legacy of thought, faith, and history. Religion played a central role in Songhai society. Islam, adopted by the ruling elite, merged with local beliefs and practices, shaping laws, governance, and daily life. Picture a serene courtyard at dusk, the call to prayer rising softly above the city, devotees moving with quiet reverence, and the warm glow of lamps illuminating carved wooden doors and stone walls. Every ritual, every gesture, every prayer reflects a deep interconnection between the people, the divine, and the natural world. Art and craftsmanship thrived in Songhai. Carvings, pottery, textiles, and jewelry captured both beauty and meaning, often reflecting religious and cultural symbolism. Imagine artisans at work in the soft afternoon light, hands shaping clay into elegant forms, weaving intricate patterns into cloth, and carving symbols that tell stories, all accompanied by the quiet hum of life around them. Each object becomes a bridge between human creativity, faith, and the enduring rhythm of society. Military strength and diplomacy ensured the empire's stability and prosperity. Well-organized armies protected trade routes, enforced laws, and defended borders, while diplomacy maintained relations with neighboring states. Imagine rows of soldiers at sunrise, standing in calm, measured formation, the soft glint of weapons in the light, disciplined movements blending with a quiet assurance, ensuring that daily life, culture, and trade continue unhindered. Agriculture and sustenance formed the foundation of Songhai society. Villages cultivated millet, sorghum, rice, and vegetables along the fertile riverbanks, while livestock grazed peacefully on sunlit plains. Daily life followed the rhythms of the sun, rain, and seasonal cycles, integrating work, ritual, and communal celebration. Picture a quiet morning, smoke rising from hearth fires, children playing near riverbanks, women tending crops, and elders guiding young hands in planting, all moving in harmony with nature's gentle pulse. Education, oral tradition, and scholarship were pillars of Songhai culture. Griots, poets, and storytellers preserved history, genealogies, and moral lessons, passing them to new generations. Imagine a calm night beneath a star-filled sky, children seated on soft earth, elders recounting tales of kings, warriors, and scholars, the gentle cadence of words forming a soothing, hypnotic rhythm that carries history and wisdom effortlessly into memory. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Songhai Empire, picture yourself walking along the gentle banks of the Niger at twilight. The water glows softly in the fading sun. Villages hum quietly in the distance, and the gentle rustle of reeds and palm fronds blends with the distant murmur of life. You feel the enduring presence of a civilization that thrived through governance, trade, scholarship, artistry, and faith. Its legacy whispered softly through rivers, markets, libraries, and generations of people. Let the story of Songhai wash over you like a calm river flowing through sunlit plains and fertile valleys. Feel the wisdom of its kings, the devotion of its scholars, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of the people. Let the soft murmur of the Niger, the gentle rhythm of village life, and the quiet pulse of learning guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the empire's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Songhai Empire, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, trade networks, and spiritual traditions continue to shape the continent's enduring story with quiet grace and timeless wonder. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently southward toward the lush forests and fertile plains of the Niger Delta, where the Kingdom of Benin, one of West Africa's most remarkable civilizations, once thrived. Imagine dense, emerald green forests, rivers winding gently through rich soil, and towns alive with the gentle hum of daily life. Here, a civilization of kings, artisans, and scholars created a legacy of art, governance, and culture that continues to whisper softly through time. The Kingdom of Benin, emerging around the 11th century CE, became a powerful state under the rule of the Oba, a king whose authority combined spiritual, political, and social leadership. Picture the Oba, seated on a throne of carved ivory and coral, draped in rich flowing fabrics. Advisors and chiefs gathered nearby, sunlight filtering through the forest canopy, casting gentle patterns on the palace floor. Every gesture, every word, every ceremony carries the weight of history, balancing governance, ritual, and the well-being of the people. Trade and commerce were central to Benin's prosperity. The kingdom engaged in regional trade, exchanging ivory, palm oil, spices, and cloth with neighboring African states, while maintaining connections with distant lands through coastal trade networks. Imagine a calm morning along the river, canoes gliding smoothly through quiet waters, traders exchanging goods in measured tones, the soft lapping of water blending with distant birdsong, creating a gentle, rhythmic heartbeat for life and commerce. Trade was both practical and poetic, weaving communities together and connecting Benin to the wider world. Art and craftsmanship flourished in Benin like nowhere else in West Africa. Bronze sculptures, ivory carvings, ceremonial masks, and intricately decorated textiles reflected both beauty and spiritual significance. Picture an artisan at work in the soft afternoon light, hands molding clay or carving ivory with delicate precision, the quiet hum of life around him, sunlight catching gold and bronze, creating shimmering reflections across his intricate work. Each object becomes a testament to skill, devotion, and the rich cultural identity of the kingdom. Benin's architecture was equally remarkable. The city of Benin was famed for its earthworks, walls, moats, and gates, creating a sprawling urban plan that combined defense with order and elegance. Imagine walking along a quiet path atop a sun-warmed wall, the soft wind rustling through the forest, the city below bustling gently with villagers, traders, and artisans, and the rhythmic flow of life moving quietly yet powerfully through the kingdom. Every structure, every street, every wall reflects ingenuity, care, and harmony with the natural landscape. Religion and spirituality guided Benin society. The Oba was considered both a political and spiritual leader, embodying the connection between the divine and the earthly realm. Priests and priestesses performed rituals to honor ancestors, spirits, and deities, ensuring balance and prosperity. Picture a quiet shrine at dusk, flickering oil lamps, casting warm shadows across carved altars, the soft murmur of prayers blending with the whispering wind, drums beating a gentle, steady rhythms, connecting the living with those who came before. Education and oral tradition preserved Benin's history, values, and cultural identity. Griots, storytellers, and elders passed down tales of kings, warriors, and the spirits that shaped daily life. Imagine sitting under the shade of a large iroko tree, children listening attentively, the storyteller's voice rising and falling with a hypnotic cadence, tales of bravery, wisdom, and justice, weaving lessons gently into memory. Every story, every pause, every soft rhythm nurtures a sense of belonging, continuity, and cultural pride. Military strength ensured Benin's security and influence. A disciplined army protected the kingdom's borders, trade routes, and citizens, maintaining stability and peace. Imagine rows of soldiers standing quietly at sunrise, polished weapons glinting softly in the light, movements calm and measured, a reassuring presence that allows the rhythm of daily life to flow uninterrupted. The military was both guardian and symbol of order, a silent force underpinning the kingdom's enduring prosperity. Agriculture and sustenance were central to Benin's people. Villages cultivated yams, millet, palm products, and vegetables, while livestock grazed on fertile land. Daily life followed the natural rhythms of sun, rain, and seasons, integrating labor, ritual, and celebration. Picture a tranquil morning in a village, smoke rising from hearths, children playing near fields, women tending crops, and elders guiding young hands in planting. The gentle pulse of life, moving in harmony with the land itself. And so, dear friend, as you drift deeper into the story of the Kingdom of Benin, picture yourself walking along the river at twilight. The water glows softly, reflecting the warm hues of the setting sun. Villagers hum quietly in the distance. Canoes sway gently, and the soft rustle of forest leaves blends with the distant beat of ceremonial drums. You feel the enduring presence of a civilization that thrived through art, governance, trade, and spirituality. Its legacy whispered through rivers, forests, walls, and generations of people. Let the story of Benin wash over you like a calm river flowing through sunlit forests and fertile plains. Feel the wisdom of its kings, the devotion of its priests, the creativity of its artisans, and the enduring spirit of its people. Let the gentle rustle of leaves, the quiet murmur of rivers, and the soft rhythm of village life guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest, carrying the kingdom's rich history into your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of the Kingdom of Benin, ready to continue our journey into the next chapter of Africa's vast and wondrous history, where kingdoms, empires, and cultural traditions continue to flourish across the continent, weaving an intricate, timeless tapestry of life, artistry, and enduring legacy. Now, dear friend, let us drift gently beyond kingdoms, rivers, and empires into the vast and mysterious realm of African mythology, where the invisible threads of gods, spirits, and creation stories weave a tapestry of meaning, wonder, and imagination. Imagine the soft hush of twilight settling over savannas, forests, and riverbanks, the wind carrying whispers of the unseen, and the stars beginning to glow like scattered lanterns across a dark velvet sky. Here, the stories of the continent's people rise, alive with magic, wisdom, and timeless rhythm. Across Africa, mythology is a gentle, guiding force, a bridge between the natural and spiritual worlds. Each culture has its own pantheon of gods, ancestral spirits, and mystical beings. The Yoruba of West Africa speak of orishas, deities embodying the forces of nature, virtues, and cosmic principles. Imagine a quiet grove at dawn, the soft glow of the sun filtering through leaves, incense curling gently in the air, the rhythmic beating of drums calling forth orishas, and the hushed chants of devotees blending with the murmur of the wind. Every ritual, every song, every prayer embodies a dialogue with the unseen, a connection to life's deepest currents. In Central Africa, the Bakongo believe in Nsambi Mpungu, the supreme creator, and ancestral spirits who guide the living. Picture a village near a gently flowing river, elders recounting tales of creation, children listening with wide eyes, the water reflecting the warm hues of sunset, and the forest alive with quiet whispers of spirits moving unseen. The stories teach lessons of morality, balance, and the sacred rhythm of life, each tale a soft current shaping the hearts and minds of listeners. The Dogon people of Mali carry intricate cosmologies, linking stars, celestial movements, and the origins of humanity. Imagine a desert night under a sky ablaze with stars, elders pointing softly to constellations, children tracing the patterns in awe, and the wind carrying the soft sounds of drums, flutes, and chants. Each star, each story, each whispered legend is a thread in a cosmic tapestry, connecting the earthly and the celestial with gentle, hypnotic rhythm. Mythology also explains the origins of rivers, mountains, animals, and the seasons. Stories tell of gods shaping the land, spirits inhabiting forests and rivers, and ancestors guiding the cycles of life. Picture a quiet riverbank at dawn, the water glistening softly, the breeze carrying the scent of earth and reeds, and the whispered voices of stories moving with the current, explaining how the world came to be, one gentle tale at a time. Trickster figures, like Anansi the spider in West Africa, embody both mischief and wisdom. Imagine the soft flicker of firelight in a village at night, children leaning in, eyes wide with fascination, as a storyteller recounts how Anansi outwitted more powerful beings with cleverness and patience. The tale moves with a rhythmic cadence, each word a soft brushstroke on the canvas of imagination, teaching lessons of resilience, intelligence, and humor. Creation myths reveal profound truths about human existence. Some tell of the first humans shaped from clay, the first breath of life granted by gods, or the first fire brought to mortals by courageous spirits. Imagine a quiet forest glade at dawn, sunlight spilling gently through the trees, leaves rustling softly in the breeze, and the story unfolding like a river of words, winding gently through time and memory. Each myth carries a quiet heartbeat, a rhythm designed to calm, teach, and inspire. Ancestors play a central role across African mythology. They guide, protect, and watch over families and communities. Imagine a gentle evening in a village, smoke rising from hearths, soft chants echoing through the air, and the unseen presence of ancestors felt in every gesture of care, every shared meal, and every quiet moment of reflection. The living and the dead are connected in a serene dance, soft, unbroken thread linking generations across centuries. Animals, too, carry symbolic and spiritual significance. Lions, elephants, snakes, and birds appear in myths as guides, messengers, or embodiments of natural forces. Picture a quiet savanna at dusk, the gentle rustle of grass, the distant roar of a lion, and the soft murmur of a storyteller recounting how the cunning of a bird or the courage of a lion shaped the world. Every animal carries a story. Every story carries a lesson. Every lesson carries the gentle wisdom of generations. The cosmologies, rituals, and festivals of African mythology are alive with color, music, and movement. Drums, flutes, dances, and chants echo through villages, forests, and riversides, creating a gentle rhythm that aligns human life with spiritual and natural cycles. Imagine a festival at twilight, soft torchlight flickering across the faces of dancers, drums beating a steady, hypnotic pulse, and the air alive with quiet energy, weaving magic, memory, and celebration together seamlessly. And so, dear friend, As you drift deeper into the realm of African mythology, picture yourself lying beneath a vast, star-filled sky. The night is calm, a gentle breeze rustling through trees and grasses, and the whispers of gods, spirits, and ancestors surround you softly. You feel the quiet presence of civilizations that have understood the world as a living, breathing story, where every river, mountain, and forest carries a message, and every tale is a gentle guide for the soul. Let the myths wash over you like a slow, soothing river flowing through time, carrying the wisdom of countless generations. Feel the presence of orishas, ancestral spirits, and celestial beings. Let the rhythm of stories, the whisper of leaves, and the gentle cadence of chants guide you into a peaceful, dream-filled rest where imagination, history, and spirituality entwine softly in your dreams. And so, dear friend, we pause here in the quiet majesty of African mythology, ready to drift toward the end of our journey through the continent's history and stories, where the richness of civilizations, empires, and spiritual traditions flows together in a timeless tapestry, bringing peace, wonder, and the gentle calm of understanding to our hearts. Now, dear friend, as the last whispers of Africa's history and mythology drift softly through your mind, let us take a moment to linger in this quiet, timeless space. From the first kingdoms along the Nile to the empires of Mali and Songhai, from the artistry of Benin to the spiritual depth of African mythology, we have journeyed together through lands, rivers, mountains, and generations, tracing stories that have endured for millennia. Picture yourself lying beneath a star-strewn sky, the gentle rustle of leaves or the soft hum of a fan in the background, carrying the rhythm of the world into a serene, restful space. Imagine the soft flow of rivers, the quiet echoes of marketplaces, the distant beat of drums, and the whispers of ancestors and deities guiding you gently toward calm. Every empire, every story, every myth has left its mark, a quiet legacy flowing through time, now settling softly in your mind like a gentle, comforting tide. Through trade, scholarship, faith, artistry, and governance, the peoples of Africa built civilizations of profound wisdom and beauty. They taught lessons of resilience, connection, imagination, and reverence for both the natural and spiritual worlds. As you breathe slowly and gently, let these stories wrap around you like a soft, warm blanket, each detail a quiet lullaby, each memory a gentle guide into the realm of dreams. Now, with a smile on your face and a heart full of knowledge and wonder, you will have a good understanding of the incredible history and mythology of Africa, and a peaceful night's sleep awaits. Drift gently, dear friend, as the stories linger softly in your mind, and the rich tapestry of Africa's past continues to hum quietly in your dreams. Goodbye, dear friend. See you next time.